this is The Extra Sheep, the unofficial Age of Empires 4 podcast hosted by myself, Socerton, along with Beal and Sir Nevels, and today we've got CalerbCalamari in as well. We thought Beal was going to be out today. He has a social life, it turns out, but that social life decided to have a rain delay. So he's with us. Sorry about that, Beal. Sorry you're stuck with just, us guys today.
It's all right. I was back and forth. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go today so I can record. And then I saw we're totally on for today. And then I just checked like an hour ago and this outdoor concert is getting rained out.
That sucks. Well, that's unfortunate for you. It's good for all of our listeners. So everyone, I expect everyone to take a moment, to appreciate the sacrifice that Beal has given of his time today for you guys, for you, the listener.
Man. Because of the rain.
Because of the rain.
Thank
because of the rain. Thank the rain.
If it wasn't raining, I wouldn't be here.
They stopped making us all feel better. I thought maybe you're like, you know what? I was still debating whether, whatever. Wait, I mind us asking, who are you going to go see?
I was going to go see Cake.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. Gonna see Cake, outdoor show, literally Cake by the ocean.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cake by the ocean.
Sounds pretty good.
But no, that could bump back to tomorrow. So hopefully the weather stays nice. It's been absolute garbage this entire summer here as far as the rain goes.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the
here.
best place in the country right now because I feel like the South is on fire with a heat wave. The Northeast is just getting pummeled by rain. I'm out here in Northwest Oregon. It has been 68 degrees and sunny for over a month and a half now.
For you.
It has been so nice.
Really nice.
And I'm stuck at work every day, just looking at the nice rolling puffy clouds roll by. I miss summer. Beautiful. I miss summer, guys. If you're listening to this podcast and you're not a middle-aged dude or a young dad and you're in school and you still have the beautiful concept that is summer, enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Stop listening to this podcast. Go touch grass. Get out there. Enjoy it. All right.
Stop listening.
Well, actually, shout out to I think who is it? Who I don't know if it was Sherman or someone. Actually, I don't think it was. Someone mentioned I've been sending out some merchandise for our Patreon peeps, and someone mentioned that they every time I think it was Rental Beast. Shout out to Rental Beast. I think, or actually, I don't know. I can look it up. It doesn't matter. But someone says that every time we post
to all of our
Patrons,
shout them all out, all of them beautiful people.
Someone mentioned that every time we dropped an episode, they get 4 more days of something to listen to while they go out and run. So if you're out there jogging right now, I hope it's nice weather. Hope you're feeling fit and have a good run. Also, I want to shout out CalerbCalamari coming in here. We thought Beal wouldn't be here, and he happily stepped in and. Then Beal said, screw it, I'm joining anyways because my concert got canceled till tomorrow. But Caleb's still here, so he's the real MVP.
Yeah, I like to outshine Beal as much as I possibly can because I can't do it in game. So
I can only do it when he's 8 drinks back,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, do it.
Where are all my sheep?
that was so good. That was so good. All right, guys. We've got a little bit of news, and then I was going to start us off today with our Reddit posts. I curated a number. I was just scrolling through it. I say curated. I literally just scrolled through this morning, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many good posts. Before we get to those, we will weigh in on some of these things. We've got a little bit of AOE news. Actually, I'll let Sir Nevels take it away with this one. He did the research for this one this week.
Oh, this was literally without any type of serious effort at all.
Yeah, that's how we run this podcast,
That's how you do it. But I mean, obviously with this new season, we've been seeing a lot of people saying they're having a lot of drop games. I've also been suffering from that. So they apparently there was a hot fix. This is the second one now. They have I don't know the number, the fix 3.45 shots. I don't know that, but there was another hot fix. And actually, I'm not using it was actually a complete update to the game, not even a hot fix, but an update to the game where apparently now people who are experiencing frame rate drops and game crashes, apparently it's supposed to be solved. I think for the most part it has been. I don't hear anybody really complaining about. A big thing was they call it the castle glitch, where you get the castle age, your game completely just shuts off. A lot of people think it might be the people not updating their drivers, maybe the graphics cards, whatever the case might be. But it was an issue. I'm not gonna lie. I played. So I was playing some team games with the homies from Discord, and we played probably 5 games. I think I dropped 3 of them. So I had the castle. It dropped, caused everybody to lose. And I think everybody's trying to be polite, but it was a little frustrating, but apparently that's fixed. I guess you got, maybe wait a week or two to see how the community is addressing that. And other than that, also, Golden League, a lot of people don't know when Golden League was going on, there's also something in the background called Silver League. And Silver League, I think Golden League might be top, when the Elite Classics were happening, there's also Silver League going in the background. Silver League's been going on for a long time, Golden League and through the duration of Silver League. Well, Silver League just wrapped up also. It was Anno 10 versus Killjardy, best of 7, and Anno 10 turned out to be the victor, 4-2. And I think from after that, last 1v1, I think EGC has put a cap on any of their tournaments for the rest of the summer. So they might come back around September, October. So right now, all the S-tier tournaments, I believe, have wrapped up for Age of Empires 4. Everyone's just kind of doing their little, Frankenstein tournaments. Everybody's kind of putting their stuff together and maybe collecting a little bit of money, and then they're just making little small, maybe show matches. So the tournament season pretty much in news is kind of not in season right now.
Is there going to be Wololo? Do we know?
I have heard no announcements about that.
That right there is something that's a great question because no one knows. And a lot of people predicting if there is going to be one because for AoE 2 with Wololo, it's like a 2-week trial, like a trial for 2 weeks, literally 1 weekend or 2 weekends for trying out. So if there is one, people think that if they have it, there's not going to be a road to Wololo like there was before. There's not there's no 3-month trial period. Which maybe some people find it. Some people don't like that. It's not going to be a road to Wololo, and other people are like, thank God, because it lasted so long. And then towards the end, a lot of people only watch a certain amount of pro players. So once all the pro players make it in, the big names, they're kind of watching people just play, and it just kind of became, I guess it became somewhat redundant. Some people, there's okay, can we just get to who's qualifying? Some people have a little, the patience isn't there. But I agree, I prefer road too, but I believe it's going to, if there is one, just a little short trial.
I can kind of see the benefit to both. I remember I haven't been following a lot of tournaments lately, mostly because I've just been busy personally. But I remember last October and all the late summer, I was really into watching that every Saturday, Sunday.
Too,
I was watching them, and I didn't watch every game, but I definitely was tuning in, and I think it drummed up a lot of hype for the game. It's a bit unfortunate.
Road to Wololo literally carried me for 6 months at work. I was losing my mind. I watched it. I watched all of them. It worked. I worked my shift. Literally carry on.
See, now everyone has this podcast, so now everyone wants to listen. They've got this, and then this is every 2 weeks. So we've got you guys. We've got you.
We're
the road to sheep. We're gonna call
road
it.
Road to sheep.
I like that.
We've got that ad that we made. My wife was working on the advert for Rising Empires to put our little sheep. Our podcast on there for people to see. So that's coming up. She's a little animated little thing. She was working on it late last night.
That I've seen it is really good. That's something I was expecting.
Just jumping in here, it is a bummer that there is no road to Wololo because that's something that can drum up interest for the game. Just a long season of highest level of competition. Going at it. It drives the creation of new maps and all that stuff. It's a bummer that it's not happening in its full capacity like it did last year, because I think that'd be a great marketing thing.
Well, we also got to consider that it might just get pushed back too. There's no contract of Red Bull. They can make it later.
Yeah, or it might not
happen at all.
I haven't heard
anything. Happen this year. Yeah.
I'm holding out for a Gamescom announcement or something. What's next? When's the next big? I
feel like and I know that Relic doesn't really have that much to do with this game. Genuinely doesn't have that much to do. After the whole thing with the layoffs they had, I feel like since then, not that we haven't had. I guess let me rephrase this a little bit. They had the layoffs in Relic a month or so ago that we mentioned on this podcast, mostly I think due to the failure of Company of Heroes. But I do feel since that point, not that care for this game has just disappeared. I feel I have heard no official announcements besides that when we get a little eagle thing for the 4th of July and a little like profile icon for Canada Day. That's been like, that was already in the works, I think. I've heard like hardly anything. And maybe it's just me not being as involved as I should be with the game, but I feel like I just haven't heard a lot from the guys upstairs on this one, you know? And I feel like the marketing on this game has just disappeared. Like we should be pushing this. This is like the game's better than it's ever been, I feel like. And there's just like nothing being talked about it.
I don't think that's super uncommon.
Me too,
I know another game that I was very, very excited for called Spellcraft. They had what I thought was a semi-successful open alpha run. They even had like Sneaky and people from like League of Legends and stuff trying it out. But apparently it wasn't as successful as they wanted, and they lied off a bunch of people, and that Discord server has gone dark for like 4 months after they laid off a bunch of people. So I think there's a morale hit that happens that tends to kind of weigh on the shoulders of the people who are already still working there, on top of increased or workload or decreased output. Just makes things tend to be a little sour after mass layoffs.
Well, and again, too, Relic is not in charge of this game currently. It really is a Microsoft baby through and through now. They worked on it and they helped, but this is definitely a Microsoft product first and foremost. So there is a difference. We are kind of detached from that. And I know there was some like really doomsday speculation. I don't think we're in the doomsday mode because of that. Because we are a little bit detached from it, but it does seem like maybe there has been a souring and maybe people are maybe there's some reorganization going in the background. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better.
Maybe. Okay. This is kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, this is coming from an idiot.
Here we go. This is the hot take.
Hot take from Survival today.
This right here. If you say that this is a Microsoft baby through and through, maybe like, I don't know exactly how much like updates we're getting a post when the game first launched or whatever. But if you ask me, if we look at it as a Microsoft baby, I think their hands have been a little full. I don't know, closing on the biggest acquisition ever in history. Yeah, like they literally just, I think just today it's confirmed that they literally have acquired Activision.
Yes, they got
$69 billion. So I think they're not. If it's Microsoft really paying attention to this, they're too worried right now. The biggest concern on the bulletin board in the on the whiteboard in the board office wasn't like, let's make sure the AoE 4 fans are good right now. Microsoft, let's Activision. That.
Let's create a super monopoly.
Exactly. I think Microsoft right now is not saying they don't care about AoE 4. I think they're kind of just kind of any of their titles right now.
They've gone full capitalism, full late stage capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Full late stage capitalism.
Exactly. Like Microsoft just has completely just decided they're gonna rule the world now because
Bill Gates is like going dark.
Exactly. So if we go off that, Microsoft being the heads of this, maybe after this acquisition has finally wrapped up and now things are kind of go back. They have been in court. They have been fighting this thing for it's been like over a year. Like. They have been almost the same amount of time as AoE's lifespan. They have been kind of going back and forth over this acquisition.
The FTC was fighting them hard.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's literally going to be one of the biggest conglomerate of media online for the games ever. I mean, this really is the horror of late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I'm into this conspiracy theory. All right. I think that Bill Gates is working with Elon Musk to build a Death Star replica, and he's going to go sit up there as the emperor of the world. And
it's possible, hey.
Can I Oh, gosh. In other news, Twitter is like dying. Oh, man.
Exactly.
So much happening in the world. These big media guys, man.
A lot happening.
Throwing out one more thing, just the fact that we haven't heard a lot, but their party event, whatever, the Map Monsters, the big thing they announced for Season 5, the event stops on July 20th. So I got to imagine there's going to be an announcement within the next week and a half or so for how the second half of Season 5 is going to go.
It feels like Season 5 just started to me still.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe
There
it's
was
just
a
like
season
summer
five.
effect.
Started in June. Yeah.
Man, it's already been 6 weeks. Maybe, I mean, I guess maybe it's because the other season kind of got pushed back and like extended. Maybe this is just a standard size season.
Yeah.
Again, I think one thing to consider too is that it is summertime for those of us who are in the northern hemisphere. So sorry to Australians, they're in the cold time, I guess. But for all of us here out in the north, it is summertime, and that does mean a lot of people are taking vacations, frankly, taking time off work, heading out, going to Disneyland, going to Europe, doing all the things that they do when they have money. So it could be just that production slows a little bit in summertime. I know at my workplace, it feels like that's happened a little bit. And I know like the other time where things slow down is like right around the holidays. I bet things will pick up come August for sure, end of August.
Imagine, most definitely. I mean, also too, when Gamescom comes around, I mean, it's going to be a lot. Gamescom is more, focused around, instead, like, not focused, but caters more to RTS community. So Gamescom, I really believe, is like, I mean, same as last year. I believe that it will, that new civilization, everybody wants to know what's happening. I believe that's where the question will be answered. Because the season literally ends October 24th. It's like literally the same exact time as the new Civ. Like the new Civs came out October.
Dude, if
25th.
we don't get new Civs by then,
we are.
I don't want to think about that, of how bad that could feel, but I definitely hope we get some.
We are. We are.
Has it been over a year?
No, it will be a year come October.
Okay. Okay.
That will be the time.
The season ends. The season ends in October as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's when they'll drop it, because it was about a year for the first set. So
which is okay. I think we've decided that a year for every 2 Civs is actually a really good pace for this game.
Yeah.
So it's really not bad. Alrighty, guys.
I still don't know half of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually part of our discussion today. We'll be talking about the Civs we don't know as much and how we want to learn and some of our troubles with them. Before we get to that, guys, I have curated, and I say curated again, I just kind of scrolled through this morning, and frankly, Reddit's kind of a gold mine for some stuff. I don't know what it is about Saturday night, Sunday morning, but there are quite a number of fun Reddit posts to go through. I am going to just start with one. I've got them on our outline. If you guys want to follow along, we'll start with the first one here. It says, this one is coming to you by Badao Shand Y. They say, can someone please give a detailed description of each biome in Age of Empires 4? I'm interested in the differences between each of the biomes in AoE 4. What are the major attributes of each biome? I saw this and kind of chuckled myself, because basically I've got a couple opinions on this, actually. For the most part, it doesn't matter, unless there's two. The two newish ones. First of all, that Enchanted Grove biome made a huge difference, because it was like putting bleach in your eyes. And the second one is, I actually do have an opinion on the Mediterranean biome, where it's like got the palm trees and the sand. I hate this one for one reason and one reason alone.
Yeah.
And it is because the birds. They squawk. They squawk nonstop. They make so much noise. It is the loudest biome. They go like, rah, 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 like the entire time. It is like, going outside to the beach with like a flock of seagulls. That is the only one I cannot stand.
I didn't even notice that. Now I'm gonna notice it all day, and now I'm not gonna like them, man.
Yeah, it's every time I happen when it's Mediterranean, I just kind of die inside, because there's like a bird that just makes the most obnoxious noise. I'm like, man, imagine that. You're a beautiful little creation of God, right? You're a little bird, and for some reason, that's what you got stuck with saying is awful.
Mediterranean or Sahara Desert?
Sahara Desert is the worst one, dude. That is facts to me. I was about to say that.
I like Saharan Desert.
You like Sahara Desert?
I like it.
Weird.
It's got a good vibe. Like, it's a good beach day sort of vibe to it. I know a lot of people like it.
It's so bright.
Yeah,
maybe that's the one. Is it? Wait, are there two? Are there two? Is it Saharan Desert and Mediterranean? Or are they different?
No, they're different. Mediterranean is it's like more of a Saharan Desert is like
I thought it was the beach day one I was talking about. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Saharan. I need to open up my game now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got my game open. I got my game open. Like, Sahara Desert is I think everyone agrees that Sahara Desert is like the one that
it like burns your eyes. That one's bright.
It's super bright, and it makes the game look not as good. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I like it.
You like said that. I love how you got different opinions. Yeah. That's great. Hey,
like, especially on a water map.
That's crazy. It looks dry. It makes you want to get a glass of water while I'm playing. Like, it just looks like a dry terrain. Like, yeah, I guess so. Yes, it's a hard desert. Okay, that is my least favorite in the game. Like, when I get that, I'm like,
look at this now. map.
So it's, I mean,
I love Mediterranean too.
Because you take a look at all the other maps, like I couldn't tell you the difference.
Those are hard.
Actually, I think it might be Saharan Desert. I don't like. Wait, I can't tell. Mediterranean. Oh no, they've added some new ones. Huh.
Mediterranean is the newest one. That's the one they added.
Maybe it's Saharan Desert. I don't like then. I feel like there's one of them that has whichever one of these two has the birds that just squawk like nonstop. I think it might be Saharan Desert because of the. Maybe it was Mediterranean. I don't remember anymore. It's been a while since I've been on either of those. As far as the other biomes go, I don't really care. I think Chalk Downs is one of the prettiest. I like the European temperate. I'm a big fan of the Taiga summer and winter. I don't like the Gobi Desert very much because it reminds me of Southern California growing up as a kid, and I just hate the heat. And I like Asian subtropical and temperate. I like most of them are nice. Yeah. You know, most of the biomes are pretty nice. They're all good.
I couldn't tell you the difference between any of them except for Sahara and non-Sahara maps.
I know that the Asian subtropical has bamboo instead of like the normal like trees.
Okay.
So that one I noticed. But yeah, besides that, like I don't take too much notice of them.
I believe Sahara Desert has palm trees. I believe the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I loaded up a map on Mediterranean, and I couldn't tell you the difference between this and like a normal summer map.
Okay, it must be Saharan Desert. I think Saharan Desert has like the birds, especially on a water map. I just feel like I hear birds squawking, so I think that's the one I loathe.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried not zooming in as much as you can?
No, I zoom all. I like play super zoomed out, and you can just hear them like screaming. It's just something else.
Now it's not play on that map. All I'm going to hear is birds. I'm like,
you're going to hear it and you'll think of me. You know.
So if there's an ornithologist listening, I need Socerton to do that impression one more time and then let us know what species.
That's exactly. That was pretty impressive.
I'm glad to know that I've got like a couple hundred listeners who have to listen to me making awful squawking noises right now.
Oh yeah.
We duped you into listening to this podcast just so I can make some noises and irritate you and make your guys' ears bleed. Okay, anyways, here's another Reddit post for us. This comes to, the user's deleted. This dude like deleted everything. Oh my gosh. This guy like rethought his life and decided to end it. By user deleted 4 hours ago. Maybe it was a bot. The comments are pretty rough. A game crashed as I was about to win and it counted as a defeat. What do I do? And he went on to say, I remember this post because I was looking at it. It's deleted now. But it originally used to say that he had his Rams ready to go. He was going to go and push and then his game crashed. What does he do?
Oh man, they're slandering
him. Calling an admin for the tournament.
I think it was just a normal ranked match game. I think it was just a ranked match. Yeah. But yeah, calling an admin, yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the comment section is being not being very reassuring.
Well, the comments are kind of just being like, just move on, ? Right. Take it as a man. It is what it is, bro. Exactly. Fair enough.
He said, somebody said, cry, get real mad, smash your keyboard.
I think he did decide what to do, and it was to
delete his Reddit post account.
Yeah, just go dark. Go dark.
I actually just took his computer out, and like, you know that is scene in Parks and Recreation where Ron Swanson takes his computer out and just chucks it in the bin.
He might listen to that one guy.
Just throws it through the window,
straight through into the dumpster. Yeah.
He might just smash everything in his room. Listens to that one guy, and he's no longer with us.
I love that someone took the time to put that into Reddit, thinking they'd get like, what were they expecting the response to be?
Yeah, that is the question. What do you think was going to happen here?
Oh, there are a lot of Reddit posts I realized like that. They're asking questions. We're like, dude, I don't know.
Karma farming.
My girlfriend came in my room and told me to get off the game. What should I do, guys? We're like,
it's the game or the girl. You got to pick the game. We're real bros, man. Saturday night is for the boys.
Exactly. We're like, I don't really know, man. Tell you the truth.
Here's another post that's actually this is actually an interesting discussion. I actually do want to kind of talk about a little bit. This is shout out to user John 198777. Does anyone else think that the standard in ranked games has increased a lot? I used to be gold 1, and after a break, I went down to silver 1. I had to add elements to my game that I never had before just to get back to gold 1. There are some surprisingly skillful people down in silver, which might sound ridiculous to some. Some of the differences was obviously just me being rusty, but not all. What do you think?
100% agree. I 100% agree with him. Most definitely. I think everyone is just evolving. I think like Silver is not. Well, I think everything has moved up a notch. Like maybe silver was the new gold. I don't know because I had the same thing. Last season 4, I got placed in silver too. So I'm like, let me just brush through this really quick. And then I was like, hey, now what's going on here? Like they're like doing stuff that I know silver players traditionally do not do. I think people are just playing the game. People just have way more game knowledge. If you stuck with the game since the start, even if you're silver, you still have more game knowledge. I don't think it's as many new players as we think.
Most of the comments either agree with your opinions or Nevels that people have just gotten better at the game across the board. Someone says that they think it's just Smurfs, which I wonder how much that affects things.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think it's.
I don't know. There's that many Smurfs.
My thing is, well, they're looking at Silver 1 versus like where they used to be in Gold 1. At what point in the season were they when they were Gold 1? Because the ranks for this game are all over the place.
Yeah.
Like silver, gold really doesn't mean much except for your hidden ELO. Like that actually matters. So at the start of a new season, if you go like 4-1 and have a low hidden ELO, like even if you were like plat 1, you could be put into silver 2.
This happened to me this season, genuinely.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm slowly battling my way back up. I haven't been playing as often and frequently as I have been in past seasons, but like I've been like, geez, like I win a game and I get like 50 points, but I'm like, I have to be. It's interesting how far back it put me down. So I'm wondering if that's kind of why.
I think some of what this guy's getting at may be due to just being placed in silver 1 at the start of this new season, but he's still playing against people around his actual skill. I think that could be contributing to this.
Yeah, I believe that's so too. Because like even me, when I went to silver 2, I was still getting gold 3s. I even got a plat. I was like, what? So like I think there's like a little bit of hidden MMR that has to do with that. That like even though your rank is saying one thing, that really doesn't reflect your skill level.
And I mean, also if you take a break, like you do get rusty.
Yeah. I feel it's like 100%.
More than like a week break, because like you can take a week break, come back, feel refreshed. You get past all your bad habits. You can focus in on the game. But if you take like a 3-week break, you are coming behind from so much.
I can basically not play this game anymore.
Yeah.
No, I feel it. I feel it. Like having a kid the last month or two, every time I come back, I'm like, man, like I show like signs of the muscle memory. Like I've been trying to at least get a couple games in a week just to kind of keep up with things. And, kind of got to keep up. I've got a lot of big things that happen in my life. You guys are well aware. But like,
of course,
goodness, like, it's trying to keep up. I feel like, man, my skill level's like dropping. I really am. Like, I like to say I'm a plat player. I'm probably more of a gold player right now. I just need to sit down. If I were to grind it up, I'm sure I'd get to diamond. I just need to get the time to do that. I just need to actually refine my skills a bit more.
Yeah, RCS is like drinking. It's like if you drink all the time.
I like them both.
Exactly. They're great. Oh yeah, they're both exactly. They're both excellent.
Taste that good.
Exactly. They're both excellent. Exactly. They're both excellent. But yeah, if you drink a lot and you build your tolerance up, you can probably have a couple brews with the boys and you be kind of hanging out, and then you don't drink for a year, or you don't drink for a long period of time and come back 2 beers. You're like, wait a minute, something's not happening. Something's not right here.
Back to silver 2 of drinking.
Exactly. I'm back to the silver 2 of drinking. I got D-ranked here. I can't hang with the boys no more. I got D-ranked.
Beal, what's your drinking rank right now?
Oh, my drinking rank? I'd say it's plat 2.
Plat 2.
Conqueror 1.
I'd say it moves with my own AoE or rank.
When he starts having a really bad time, he starts binge drinking,
Oh yeah, that'd be Bill. I think with that, I want to hear you ever come over and be like, "Yeah, I'm Con 3 drinking." I'm like, "Hey man, maybe the time to lay off a little bit now. I'm Con 3 now, boys. I don't know. I'm ripped now." I'm like, "Oh no."
I need some bronze wine throwing up his guts in the toilet.
Oh man,
it is interesting though. It seems there is a inverse relationship between how good you are at drinking and how good you are AoE. Because if you're, a conch drinker, you might be a silver AoEer.
I mean, hey, I'm unranked in drinking, so I'm unranked. But my In
Still
game,
doing
I'm pretty
placements?
good. Yeah, I haven't done my placements yet. You know,
I'm gonna go gold 3. I'm gonna go gold 3.
I mean,
I'm gonna gold 2,
to
gold
be
3.
fair, my team ranked is higher than my solo rank.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's way different. Yeah, you're right. That's actually 2 different placements.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you ever reach Con 3 solo, dude, then we can talk, man.
we've got Bully Beal, we've got like
That's so good.
part-time Beal. Now we've got Party Beal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever get solo Con 3 and drinking, please
That's
let
great.
me know. Reach out, Bill. Reach out. I'm here for you, man.
To be in a tournament.
Exactly. Yeah, for real. That's beautiful.
Alrighty, guys. I've got another one here. This one comes from Skillard7. And this is another interesting. This is actually a kind of a cool post I do want to talk about. This is a bit of a long wind, so buckle up here. He's saying gold to diamond in about 15 games with one simple change. This sounds like a magazine thing.
There we go.
I've seen this on Twitter. Hold on.
He says, don't underestimate fatigue. So for a long time, I was hard stuck at gold 3/plat 1. Join the club. I felt like every time I'd play, I couldn't keep up with everything I needed to be doing. I'd idle my TC, respond slowly to raids, forget to do crucial things, etc. Once the game would end, I'd know exactly why I lost, and I'd just mauled over why I didn't think of it at the time. I blamed APM for being hard struck, but that was a simplification of the issue. My APM was fine. The reality was my mind was in the wrong place. I had a routine of playing AoE 4 after work when I was already exhausted. I would struggle to focus on struggle to focus as the caffeine from the morning wears off. So I changed things up. I decided to see how I do if I only played ranked after I'm well rested and after drinking coffee or energy drinks. Oh man. And the difference was massive. I am much faster at inputting actions, don't space it out in the middle of games, and don't forget basic things I need to do like make villagers or get upgrades. Games suddenly felt substantially easier, and I raced towards diamond with a 70% win rate. Wow. To see if I was getting just improving or if this was actually mattered, I'd play on my Smurf or quick play when I was tired to see how I do, and then the difference is staggering. I find high gold, low plat games more challenging when I'm tired than diamond to low conch games when I'm alert. Maybe this is me stating the obvious, but if you feel like you're struggling to keep up with the game's pace but want to climb, consider when you're playing. Limiting ranked to when you're alert can help be the difference that gets you the extra 200 ELO. AoE seems to command a lot more energy and focus than other competitive games.
This is hilarious to me. This guy just
my first thought was just use performance enhancing drugs.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. You see the title Gold to Diamond in 15 games with one simple change as opposed to the prescription for Adderall.
That'd be a way better post. Yeah. This guy just figured out that he's better at things.
That to spam that for the next Rising Empires troll post.
Adderall?
That is so funny to me because I feel like this guy just discovered that he's better at things when he's not tired, and I'm like, that's kind of goes across everything in life, man. I mean, I'm like, this can be applied to everything. I don't think anybody ever underestimates fatigue. Like, I think people know that when you're tired, things are a little more rough. Ask me to do anything when I'm tired, opposed to being wide awake. But going from gold to diamond, that's a pretty substantial in 15 games. I need to see receipts. I gotta see.
He could have just done his placements. Was put in gold 3 and then was normally like a diamond 2 player.
Yeah, that's
came all the way back
because that's a substantial jump in skill.
Yeah, there is a point to it though.
There's a point. I agree.
Well, I work an office job, and I know sometimes if I come home and play, like my mind is so tired from sitting at a computer all day that to try to focus on Age of Empires after I've been looking at like spreadsheets and stuff at work is really detrimental.
No doubt.
I've been on my best win streaks after like you go to the gym. You get rid of the mental exhaustion. You get a little bit of the physical exhaustion, but you also get that natural energy boost from coming out of the gym. I've played games with like the clearest mindset after working out. I highly recommend it.
I've had a recommendation for anybody who's struggling to level up. Adderall, just do that. You're good.
Like full on. I feel like I do want to wonder. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to point out and like just blindly accuse people of doing this, but if we were to name a percentage of pros that use Adderall only to improve their performance, what do you guys think that percentage would be?
I would say
0, 30, and 50.
That was
30.
a lot of numbers. Caleb said 0.
30.
Yeah, I don't think so. So when you play a game professionally, where it's like legitimately your life, the way your brain structure works is different. As far as the way your wires connect and the way the thoughts and the analyzes and the watching replays, those things just connect different. I've kind of been talking to my wife about some of this stuff a little bit, how in order to be able to kind of hit that level, you need to first learn how to change the way your brain functions, and then you can work on the skills and the other things. Day9, one of my favorite streamers, and I watch YouTube stuff from all the time, he calls it's vaguely related to this, called the mental model of a game, where it's kind of the concept of the game, what is the game trying to get you to do, and those kind of things. And it's like that to like the 10th fold for a professional in a game. And I mean, they might use things to like, if they're tired or they're grinding on a tournament or something, but I don't think in general, Marine Lords, relying on Adderall to keep them at the top.
Yeah. And I don't want to like point to guys and speculate if they do or don't, but like I have heard some tales of like, maybe not for Age of Empires, but like other like FPS shooter competitive games of like guys who just do use Adderall to like help them basically be a performance enhancing drug to keep up. And it's hard to know because like obviously like it's hard to know how true or deep that could go. But obviously we see it in real sports all the time, right? Like that's a big real issue in sports. I would imagine if there's money on the line, especially if there's enough money to have like a living, like a really good living on the line, I could imagine some younger guys, especially getting on something like that, thinking it gives them the edge. I don't know. It's kind of a dark turn to think about.
I do want to see the Barry Bonds of Age of Empires.
Oh my God! I was just going to say Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
The greatest of all time.
Honestly and truly, we're a really hot take, and this is kind of like this is on sports and any type of thing that require performance. I have a really hot. I guess I'm the hot take guy now. I guess. Okay, I don't understand why it's not allowed. Man, I would love to see. Okay, I am a consumer, so I would love to see NFL or any of these sports.
Consumer. Am I hearing
late stage capitalism?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, listen. Listen. If you ask me right now if I would like to watch baseball players and they're all on steroids, that'd be amazing for me as a consumer. Like, I'd be like, yeah.
Everybody was cracked out on steroids. 10 out of 10.
If it was illegal, I'm like, yo, that'd be dope. Like, and then like, even like, even though you think there's zero, I believe that, I believe, and not even just AOE, like I would assume a lot of pro gamers, like the only drug they really can use, like the steroids of pro gaming would be Adderall. And like, if they were on Adderall, I don't see why I would care. I don't take Adderall, but I'm like, dude, if that makes you the best you could possibly be, top at your game. I hope you have no really any conflicts down the line with your life. But I'm here to watch you do something that I can't do, and you're doing it at your top peak performance. I agree. Like I am like 100% in the minority of let it all go. Let's see who find the best. Let's see somebody go to like Jamaica and find some type of drug that makes them be able to fly on the court. Like I'm ready to see it all, but that is a hot take, and that is my opinion.
I definitely I can understand the opinion. I genuinely can understand where that comes from, and I think there is a validity to it. Like, hey, if a lot of guys are doing it anyways, why don't we just put them in their own league and just see what can happen? Like, what can the human do with X amount? But then there's other part of me that's maybe more down to earth, kind of just like that to me that kind of ruins it. Because I want to see someone who could. I am, like you said, you don't do Adderall. I would never do something like that to whether it be steroids or as an athlete or Adderall or whatever performance enhancing things. I mean, obviously caffeine maybe could be considered that, but like I mean, outside of like just good nutrition and stuff, to me that like if you have to take a drug or physically alter your body by very, very external, unnatural, maybe even I'll use this this is the wrong word, but like unnatural, maybe synthetic means. That's probably a better word, synthetic ways of amplifying what you are. that to me ruins it, because I want to see the best of what I could put, because I want to be able to say I could do it too. Now, I know I won't be able to, but for me, knowing that guy is no different than me, we put our pants on one leg at a time. If I were to be as dedicated, I could do it too, potentially. That kind of, maybe that's a romantic way of looking at it to me. But that's not be like those guys like who do steroids. It's like, oh, well, they're cheating. No normal human could do that. This is beyond your average true, like, I don't know. It's tale as old as time as far as like the performance enhancing drugs of sports goes.
Yeah,
we can hash
I
out for
agree.
days, but
I agree with what you're saying 100%. Like, as far as, you want it to be like, organic, like, see it at its rawest form. But how I look at it now, it'd be one thing if I could take a drug and then I was just as good as those athletes. These athletes are already amazing.
That's true.
And they're just getting better. They're just not like, see, like, if they were like, they just were like some like, just never play baseball, and then they take a drug and they're like knocking them out like Barry Bonds, then I'd be like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
But these dudes are
Barry
already
Bonds without the drugs would still be pretty dang good.
He's pretty good. He'd be pretty good still. Like, so I'm saying, like, these are already like freaking Greek gods, and now they're just getting a drug that makes them Greek gods, like Greek godders. I don't know what you want to call them. Godders. They're more gods. Yeah, I'm down for it.
I guess it comes down to having. I mean, it has to be. I think it's the expectations would be if it was open to anyone, then it'd be okay. But if the default is no, that's not okay, then everyone should abide by that.
Yeah, I agree. Sock, you're just a good guy, and I'm a scumbag. I understand.
Yeah.
That's just the difference right
there. Hey, my old man used to be like, it'd be like put all the guys who did drugs in their own league. He used to say like, just give them their separate league and just be like, here's the real human league, and here's the we're just gonna synthesize and make a cyborg and make him do like crazy crap and just go for it.
I feel like this is like now a cyberpunk game.
Yeah. What's crazy though? If they did do that, in another league where everybody used steroids in that league, everyone would just watch that league. No one's going back.
Think so? Maybe it would.
I wouldn't. No one's watching those nerds.
Sad. That's so unfortunate, man.
It is, but no one's watching those nerds and running. They're like, oh, that guy's getting tired.
We're all just blind consumers, man. We've all fallen.
I want the guy with the rocket ankles to shoot a missile.
Oh, this guy's getting tired. What a nerd! I'm watching the guy over here. They're running at 30 miles per hour. Yeah. I told you, I'm a scumbag though. Don't listen to me.
There was I want to stay on this for half a more second. There was a board game that me and my brother got. I forget what it was called, but it was basically little action figures with a football. And they were all like crazy cyborg people. Like one could like teleport, and one was like a literal tank. And like it was pretty cool. And it was basically that, and with like pseudo football.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
There you go. See, there you go. You're right. They're diving into it. It's just the way to go. Let it all.
It's just the way to go.
Let it all live. I can't wait.
I don't want my kids who are in high school, are going to be in high school one day, to be taking steroids just so they can keep up. That's so.
It won't be steroids.
That's so dystopian. That's so dystopian.
By the time your children go, man, the steroids gonna be so perfected. It's just gonna make us gonna be more. They're gonna be fine after.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. All right. This is another one. This kind of follows up with the last post. I saw these posts not too far apart as I was scrolling through, and I thought this was a fun follow-up post to go with what we just talked about. How many games before you feel fatigue to the point in which it affects your decision making?
Nice go.
Good. This is a good one.
It depends. A 50-minute to like over an hour game is going to make me feel way more fatigued than playing 5 20-minute games in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. 100%. So like, I think it can just take one.
Honestly, it could be one.
I won that game too. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, honestly, if you lose a really bad game, or if you feel like you were playing well, but then you lose and you just get discouraged, and mentally, like, it depends on a lot of other factors. I've had days where I play one game and just was like, I'm gonna go play baseball instead. This sucked. I actually did that. I played on Volcanic Island again against China again. And I might have mentioned this a week or two ago as well, but I was playing a different Civ. I think might have been HRE, and I just got beat again. It was so frustrating. I knew it because that was my extra sheep. I think last episode, my extra sheep was dealing with them, and went for HRE this time to try and change it up. And they basically did the same thing. They beat me still. I was so frustrated. I just couldn't get ahead. I just felt like I was taking bad fights. They turtled up like they always do, and it just wasn't a good game. I played the one, and I was one and done that day. You know, I was gonna like play, and that was gonna be my only thing I streamed that day. And instead, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go play baseball instead, because I just was so kind of. It'd been a while since I played consistently, and I'm trying to get back into Age of Empires a little bit more again. And I just kind of was like, this wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for once, and I had to say, you know, that's okay. I'm just gonna give it a little break and come back later.
China wasn't the problem. You're playing that still trash map.
I think Volcanic it was both. I'd love to play. I want to play Volcanic Island against a Civ that's not China, but I keep going against. I'm 2 for 2 now on that, and I'm just like pulling my hair out. Like, I don't know what to do about that.
Volcanic Island is just such a confusing map. I just don't understand it still.
It plays like a Golden Heights mixed with
Golden Heights is great. Golden Heights. Well,
it's got like the water. It's got like the water of like Golden Heights mixed with like a hideout scenario where the water's not central, but you can't not play it either. It's weird. It's very weird.
It's in between Golden Heights and Volcanic Island. Golden Heights is a great map, and Volcanic Island is just, I don't know what they're doing there. Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's because it's a hybrid map, but the water isn't. It's not a normal water map, and so you can't ignore it though, because every time I have my opponent's taken the little bits of water and gotten an edge out of it. I haven't cracked that one yet. I need to do a deeper dive into how to win on that map.
Or just ban it.
Or just forget about it. Come on.
Or just let the developers know why do you do this, and just get it out of here. Get it out of here.
All right, another post. I got a lot of posts today. This one's just a picture of this guy. It says doesn't get any. It's just a Skillard. Skillard7 was on a posting frenzy. His post posted this as well. It says it doesn't get any unluckier than this. I fought so hard this game thinking I'd rank up. And he's like lost streak incoming. He is at rank Platinum 3. And he's at ELO of 1199. He just got 25 points for a game. Is 1 point away from that beautiful diamond threshold. My friend Skillard, if you're listening, we feel so bad for you, man. I have done this. I've seen
it, Sock. I've seen that this happened to you before. I was there when you were about to go flat. You got one game. Yeah. Oh,
conspiracy theory, because they always give you a random amount between like 23 to 26, 27. If you're playing like an equal opponent, like I feel it might just be like confirmation bias in my brain, but I feel like I've ended up like between 1 and 4 points away from ranking up so many times, especially from gold 3 to platinum 1, like way back in the day.
The big ones. I felt like
I'd always be like 3 points away and then lose a bunch.
So you think that they don't want you to win
on purpose?
They don't want you to win. Okay.
They're going to keep you like 1 or 2 points below that line.
Because your only option is you can't not play another game right here, right? You have to play another game. You're right there. And I remember when I did this, did I play a game that night, or I don't remember. I was streaming it. I think Nevels saw me do it, but like I literally my next game I did win. I did win my next game, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Like I got into it was like the threshold of gold 3 and plat 1, and I was really gunning to get into plat as this time around, and I did get there, and I was so worried going in. And actually, it was a great game. It was one of those games where you win in feudal, and you just know you've won, and it's just a matter of procedure at that point. I think it was on the pit too. I think it was like an English Russian. I was playing some good game. I was playing a really, really fine game at that point where I was just feeling it. My micro was good. My macro was on point. Everything just kind of lined up, got lots of sheep. But yeah, that when you're 1 point away.
No, it's rough.
Gosh, it's so rough, dude.
It's rough.
So deflating.
I think that this is a good time as a PSA. It's not about your rank. It's about individual improvement over time.
Yeah.
So don't be discouraged, Skillard. If you're out there listening, it feels bad. You want to get that diamond. You want to get that, you have that goal. But ultimately, it's about long-term improvement over short-term benchmarks.
Well, Caleb, that hurts my feelings because I've been stuck at gold 3 plat 1 for like 6 months.
I think it's just like the pressure. Just the pressure gets to you really heavy with this type of thing. It's like I try so hard to tell myself the same thing. And Caleb, what you're saying is honestly a beautiful message. But the pressure of it, you want to just think oh, it doesn't matter. I'm just getting better. It's all good. It doesn't matter. But that rank just shines bright in your face.
It feels like, and this is a really bad comparison, but it feels like when you're in high school, like in your junior year, your hardest year, before you go into the fun senior year, and you're trying to get good grades. And then the teacher says, remember, everyone, it's not about the grade. And you're like, screw you. Yes, it is. I need the grades to go to college. Like, they will look at this grade. I need the grade. It's not about the grade. No, it's about the dang grade. I wish it wasn't, but that totally is how our system in life has been set up. Right.
True.
Now, obviously, that's not a true equivalent because this doesn't have real life implications unless you're like Beastie or something, which.
Hey, whoa.
I mean, whether or not you make it to Diamond or Plat 3 literally will have no impact on your life besides, oh, hey, I've got a bluer looking symbol on my game now.
Bluer. I got Plat.
I don't know.
Diamond last season.
I'm very proud of you, Beal, but that's not going to impact how much money you make in your career or what college you go to.
You don't know. What if in the future they give you pay based off of your AoE4 rank?
You never know.
I'm screwed.
Sock, on my resume, I have my AoE rank. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Dude, I don't know what world you're living in, dude. Everybody gotta know about this. This has got me my job, dude.
Oh god,
it's like
that's funny.
It's like that cafe in Korea that gives you discounts based off your League of Legends.
Yeah, dude.
Do they really?
Sock,
is that real?
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
that's crazy. That's great.
Okay, you know what? My comparison was valid, guys. It is exactly like school. The grades matter.
And I think too about rank. It's like I really want to. Like I tell myself all the time, rank does not matter in this game, and I'm lying to myself because literally people. It's like people will literally like you're like, hey, you guys want a team game? Like, yeah, man, get over here. And you're like, yeah, oh, what's your elo? You're like, oh, I'm 925. They're like, oh, yeah, what happened was, we only could get a 3. Like it's like
that reminds me of like that Toy Story meme, like, oh, you're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, like let's not lie. We have social statuses in this community.
We have a hierarchy. Are you a
system?
There's a caste system. There's a caste system, exactly. Like you're like, yeah, I want to 1v1 practice. And they're like, oh, yeah, what's your elo? You're like, yeah, I'm 900. They're like, oh, they might have responded. You might get left on red. Like, oh, okay.
That makes me a people's champion then, because I am a pleb through and through. I am the champion of us plebs. We are the many fighting against the few. We have been set against each other by our evil
corporate overlords.
We are the ones who. I'm overusing that effect way too much. I'm sorry. I'm just having way too much fun with it though.
That's a great effect.
Okay,
you're like Persia versus a 300, right?
Exactly.
So the 300, didn't they win?
Yes.
Ooh,
the Persians won. Yeah, numbers, man, numbers. Anything is possible if you have an infinite supply of slave labor.
Exactly. There you go. You're right.
Slave labor.
You're right. That's true. Listen, it's unfortunate, but rank does account for something in this game. Like it's pressure. Like you want to be. That's really the whole reason why this game is a lifespan. Just get the highest rank. Like that is literally the fact. To me, it's my fault. To ranked players.
I haven't seen Beastie make a I'm fighting 15 bronze players at one time video yet. So
true. Honestly, that would be amazing.
It's honestly, I think a game like that could work. I did this. This is my extra sheep a little while ago, a month or two ago. I was playing against my wife, my brother-in-law, and we had some computer players, and they were all like really low, like intermediate. On a 1v1, I'd smoke each and every single one of them. But when you have the pop cap and the fact they can all just like rush you in feudal age, you'd have to have like a bigger population. I'd be curious to see if like a Beastie Cutie with like 3 TCs versus like 5 guys, and if he had like a much bigger pop cap than everyone else did. Then you're just dividing APM, right? You're dividing APM and resource management and seeing, can he just handle a bigger workload? And that'd be actually really interesting.
I think you would win.
I think it would be more balanced than we think. If we can get that, at what point? I mean, there's a point, right, where eventually it would balance out. There's a perfect equilibrium somewhere, right, where you get just enough guys versus Beastie with just enough, like where it's fair, like a fair game where he could theoretically win easily because he has a big enough pop space, whatever. But enough guys where it'd be a balanced match. And I would pay money to see that if you could find a way to do it.
And then we give him Adderall and do it again.
Exactly.
Okay,
Beastie on Adderall.
Genuinely though, like imagine a series where a group of guys and Beastie went at it and they like did like a 5-game series and it ended up being like 3-2 Beastie. wouldn't that be a thrilling game to watch, right?
Yeah.
Like where he loses once or twice, but then he wins a couple, like, and it's down to the wire, like that even, like that's the kind of content that I think would genuinely draw in some people to see.
I mean, he's had content on his channel. He's done like 1v4s and 1v3s against like platinum players. And yeah, he's won. He's won.
Yeah. But like eventually it's got to even out. Like when does it get even,
course,
you know?
yeah,
like obviously he's good enough that that's still an easy game for him, but
like, dude, like Beastie's kind of like a outlier. He's kind of a freak of nature a little bit because this dude literally has like had challenges where like he's played like top 100 players and he allowed them to have the whole map revealed on their end, and he still won. Like it's like he's a little bit next level. It's just like, and then that just shows you like rank also really does reflect skill. Like, I mean, have you guys ever actually played a legitimate bronze player?
Yes.
And I like I went to my brother's house and he never plays any rank and he plays bronze legitimately. And I like went to his house. I'm like, I'm gonna play a game on your computer, and I played a bronze player. They love spears. They love French. They love making spears. They make spears. I've never seen so many French spears in my life. It's like they never age up. They just make a bunch of spears, and you're just like, what? You don't even need like it. Just like no matter where you're playing as, you can play as English. They'll make spears. They'll make spears. So like that's all they need, spears. And really so it's different. It's different. So like rank does matter. It's terrible. I wish it'd be different, but.
Fine, I'll recant. I lied to everybody. None of it was true.
That was my point. No, you have a great message though. That's if you can adopt that mental space that you have, Caleb, you're good. You do enjoy the game through and through.
I don't know what happened in Sir Neville's life.
Except
he's like living a dystopian life where like he's full. He is like fully awoken. He is fully like rose-colored glasses off. Everyone's doping, so we might as well do it. You know, like rank does matter. Like there is no Easter bunny.
Open. I took the blue pill.
Exactly. I tell you, I'm in the. Listen right now, boys. I have broken out. Listen, I'm the Andrew Tate of AOE4. I've broken out of Matrix.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I shouldn't have brought that name up. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. But I'm scared. But yeah. It is. I have I just feel like this is how it works. It's ranked. I say it all the time where I think I want to adopt the mindset like just enjoy the game. Who cares about your rank? And if you can do that, you will enjoy the game more thoroughly, 100%. But also, like, it's a competitive game. So, like, rank, like, people will look at you. You will not get invited to the cool kids table.
You will be shamed.
You will be, you will be. It's a caste system. You will be looked at differently if you come into a lobby. Like, I'm ready to go crazy. And you're like, go too. They'll be like, okay, good for you.
Settle down there.
Settle down there now.
Chihuahua barking into St. Bernard.
Exactly.
All right, I got another one. This one, actually, shout out to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think we should recognize this name.
My boy.
Shout out to him and his excellent performances in Rising Empires. He is a mainstay that I've seen there, and I love the name. Actually, really great. He posted this. He says, how to go about water on Golden Heights. I think this is a pretty good question for this group of panel we have here. I know all of us are big fans of the map. He says the meta on Golden Heights seems to be more complicated than other hybrid maps due to the water being far from both players. This is why I think the map is so good, first of all. The opponent can contest dock, especially English with their short bows, Mongols with the tower rushing, and to some degree Chinese with boosted spear production. What are good ways to approach it if you want to go dock without taking too much risk? Bringing in multiple villagers, ? Going early barracks, or is simply just too risky to go dock blind against certain civs?
The last one, I believe, is the correct answer. Depending on what civ you are, if you don't have the same capabilities or similar capabilities to protect it as they do to attack it, i.e. English, if you're somebody against English and you only have a villager out there, you're in trouble. If you're, you can't beat the Mongols with their tower out there, you're in trouble. So I think it's really, really matchup dependent on when you go. And I think that it depends on what civ you have and is that food spike going to pay off well enough, or are you somebody like the Ottomans who, it's helpful for everybody, but is it better for Ottomans to just not do it and take the risk? You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you can punish them for it too. If they invest too much into it and then you destroy the docks or something. I mean, I like that. I think this is why Golden Heights is such a good map, because the timing very much matters. The water isn't win it or you lose. You could not go water and win on this map. You just have to have a game plan for it. And as long as your game plan is solid and the Civ matchup is right, it can happen. You know, it's and I think scouting becomes a really important factor of this too. I do think because there is a long walk, you do have to know and decide fairly quickly if you're going to go fast dock or not. So that is going to be very, like you said, Caleb, Civ matchup dependent. But then beyond that, you got to be very keenly aware of what your opponent's doing. And if they're going dock as well, how are you going to respond to that? If your feudal timing's faster than them and you both go dock, you get that extra sprinkled ship, etc., out faster. That makes a big difference, you know. Like, are you going to go two docks? I mean, there's so much that goes into this, and obviously we could spend a whole episode, I think, just talking about every single matchup and what you should or should not do in what situation. I cannot tell everyone all the ways in which they could err, right? But I definitely think that there are some good thoughts. I think the matchup matters, and I think you just have to have a game plan, right? You have to understand what your game plan is and how it could vary.
I mean, Sock, I think you hit the head on the nail right there for sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing there is just scout. Like, this map, like, you really do, like, you have to, like, if you scout, first of all, like, this map's different because you're very close to your enemy TC. Like, you're very, like, you can literally be over his base in, like, not very short amount of time. And then, like, you know, you can get a glimpse, like, see if he's a villager going out, or, you know, or just check and see, like, for against the Mongols, if they're building an Uvu with, like, stables, then that knows, okay, that's telling you, okay, let's go early barracks, or, you know, let me bring a couple more villagers because he's sending 2 villagers over, and I use that scout to just kind of patrol that water line to, like, because this season I play Golden Heights. For some reason, I'm getting Golden Heights the most on any map I get anywhere. So I play a lot of I play Mongols on Golden Heights, and I played English a lot on Golden Heights, and it is my favorite map because it is, like you said, it's very dynamic. You don't even have to go water, but you will be at disadvantage if you lose water. It's enough deep sea fish in that water to where if you let your opponent have it, they will tip the scale heavy in their favor. So you gotta just scout. You gotta just know what they're doing. Like, if you don't see them going for it, then you can just send one build in the corner and just fish away. But most likely, once you get to, like, gold, plat level, everyone's gonna go for that water. So now you gotta scout and see how hard they're going for it and what they're willing to lose to get it. And like, it's a very dynamic map, which I believe why I got added to the rank pool, because it's good. It's a good map.
Beal, I got a question for you, man. If you're playing Ottomans on this, or first of all, would you ever play Ottomans on this map? And would you go for the dock?
So I haven't played Ottomans yet. I typically switch to Abbasid, although I don't think they're terribly strong on Golden Heights. So I might play a off meta civ like Otto next time I roll it. And I think the play there, Dark Age Military School, barracks, get some spears out and just harass whoever is down at the water. Just deny the docks initially and have your opponent invest so much into wood that you're able to transition from spears into feudal age and then play on lands, or maybe dock up maybe mid feudal when you've actually, like, got control of that corner of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, there you have it. Anyone who's listening who's an Ottomans player, there you go. That sounds like a brutal fight. I'd hate to go against that.
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet, but I should.
But he'll be dropping a YouTube build order soon, so keep your eyes on.
He should. That'd be good.
That'd be good.
All right, I've got 2 more posts. They're both funny ones on Reddit. Then we will take a quick break and get to our main discussion topic. This one is courtesy of Ryan Palman from 2 days ago. It is titled Knights. The question is, how would you counter, say, 80 Knights? I love this.
Don't let them get 80 Knights.
Answer 1.
Yeah,
don't let them get 80 Knights. Answer 2. Like 160 spears or 81 Knights.
Yeah. 81 Knights pretty good.
I mean, honestly, you got maybe spears and crossbow if they're going only Knights. You got, I mean, Ottoman player throwing down Janissaries, like Janissaries,
of course.
Some spears and some men at arms or something to soak up. Maybe Sipahi to just create a front line for the Janissaries.
One guy said 80 camel riders.
I don't think you'd need 80, actually. I think you'd only need like 65 to take down 80 or less. I mean, with the hard counter.
Yeah, camel riders.
Why would you ever want
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That night, that person would be baiting you to make 80 camel riders. They're like, goofy, I got this. And like,
I love this.
God.
Actually,
like,
someone actually did comment, use 81 Knights. And the comment thread on that is actually really funny. And someone posted Irish Repo Man, who is also, I was reading that one. A man. I guarantee 80 Knights would beat 81 Knights if I had the 81 Knights. I always find a way to freaking screw it up. Targeting RNG will do that for me if I just A-move them all. I feel this. Irish Repo Man, you are my spirit animal. I feel that so hard, dude. Nothing's worse than like you A-move and they cancel their charge attack because you're just too stupid to not let them be and actually get the charge off first. Oh, man, dude. I would lose the fight, too. My micro sometimes can be so good, and then other times it can be just so bad.
Because sometimes a lot of people, they over micro. That's what I do. I over micro and lose a battle that I had in my hand. I'm trying to
imagine literally ever microing. You couldn't beat me.
on this though, I've heard that. I was thinking about it, and my best advice to I was trying to teach my brother-in-law, American Jeremy. Shout out to you, my man. I know you're listening. And I was kind of trying to help him get. He's learning the game. He actually just reached silver 2. He's been working his way up. He was started in silver. He started in bronze, and he's worked his way up. He's now in silver 2. He's getting there. He's dreaming about the game. He's had 2 different dreams now about AOE. He had one recently. He texted me about it. I need to play with him again.
You roped him in. I love it. There you go.
I did. I don't know how, but I did. He is now a Patreon member as well. If you haven't done that, you guys should do it. He's getting his coaster and stickers. More on that later. But
is he in the Great Bar?
I don't know. I might have to double check on that.
Oh no, that's
I think he should be. I bet he is. I'll double check. If not, we'll get him in. Get him in there. Anyways, I was teaching him how to micro, and I was like, if you're going to focus on microing one thing, focus on the long range units. A-move your main guys. Just always A-move your guys, your knights and your spears in. Unless there's if you have the micro, you can micro your spears to hit the knights in particular. But I was like, if you're going to focus on anything in particular, make sure your control group using your archers, or in his case, longbows. And I was like, make sure using them to pick off the units you want to pick off, especially like spears and other things. Like that and siege, microing those 2 things, I think is far more important than your frontline troops. Your frontline troops, as long as they're A-moving, they will all do their thing. And maybe you can, maybe there's a better way to efficiently fight. But I think the long range and the siege are by far what you should be focusing your micro on. Just according to the gospel, according to Socerton here. I think that'd be huge. But I would definitely lose a fight with 81 knights.
I might learn a little something. That's actually pretty smart. That's my problem. I'm trying to be like this little pseudo marine lord, and I'm realize that I'm getting everyone killed. trying to micro everyone.
Well, if you pull them away, if you micro them off, sometimes they won't attack and they'll be moving to the other spot, or they're trying to you can cancel. I have canceled the charge attack on my knights by over microing.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Trying to be extra clever. I'm like,
well, that charge attack, if you're playing as French, gives you bonus damage afterwards as well. So that's actually really important to get that off.
I just see Sir Nevels trying to animation cancel Spearman, and I just
doing way too much. Just literally got to run around in circles. Got a little they're doing a little celebratory dance. They're not after a while. I've had times where literally I'll try to focus down with knights with spearmen. They're just running around the archers trying to get to the knight, and they're just getting lit up by the archers the whole time. It's just what am I doing? Why am I trying?
He's losing a 1v1 to a villager. You're like, what's happening?
Exactly. So that's a good way of doing it. Just kind of micro your, at least say that gold, plat, diamond range. Just micro your range, because the front line is gonna do its thing. You kind of support your front line with your range. That's actually, I'm actually gonna do that, because I'm doing a little too much when I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know if my advice is the most sound as far as learning micro, but that's been my general tip. Great. So I think I
would say that's really good start.
Yeah, I think it's good. I'm taking it.
If I'm running into a feudal age battle and both armies have spears, horsemen, and archers, the archers I'm going to micro the most out of either the spears or the horsemen.
Yeah.
If I'm making one unit to choose, one unit group, to spend the most time with, it's going to be the archers.
And that makes
Should be
sense,
the
because
archers,
if you pick up the spears, the spears are the easiest units to get out of there, right? They're the weakest of them. And they're also, they can do the most damage, because as far as efficiency, if they take out like a feudal age knight or like a horseman, that's brutal. Or like your Sipahi, like that's a huge swing in their favor, right? Because it's a hard counter. So it's in your best interest to get those guys out of there, so your premium units can stay alive longer. Because the longer your premium units are on the field, the more value you're getting out of them. But if they die early, that's a huge swing. So I always try to think of it as like terms of cost ratio, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Always fun to pick up a couple of knight picks against a French player early game.
It hurts as a French player. So losing a knight, like it just takes a couple minutes off your life. It's like, oh God, that really stunk.
Yeah. This episode's brought to you by www.noineice.com. Anyways, last post. This one is a funny one. And it's got a great picture. I love it, actually. This is posted by Ebodur. I think I said it, Ebodur, Ebodur, from 2 days ago. And it is a call for chickens in AoE 4. Today we gather with a crusade that shall tantalize our taste buds and bring flavor to the forefront of Age of Empires 4. Join the call for chickens as a food source. Let us unite in the clucking chorus, spreading the word far and wide, and show Relic our unwavering hunger for chickens. Those statue-like chickens do not satisfy our hunger. Let our voices be heard. The time has come to unite behind this cause. This is more important than age-up crushes or new civilizations or balance. Hashtag chickens for AoE 4. Now, as a podcast that is literally named The Extra Sheep, I take some.
Yeah, it's a little off-brand.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. You know, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
chickens seem. It just seems like blasphemous. You know, I don't know if I can go behind it.
He says as if cows weren't introduced.
Those freaking cows, man.
What civilization had a big thing for chickens?
Every civilization.
Oh, so
I mean, chicken's pretty dang ubiquitous, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like I thought maybe been like a civilization that was like really big on chickens. Like I'm like maybe like a
everyone.
Chicken coop?
I mean, I can't think of it. I would say like
I thought everybody loved
like
chicken.
Like historically, like through anthropology, like looking like Africa didn't have chickens as much. Like the Aboriginal, like Australians didn't really have chickens out there. But the moment they've been introduced in like the islands of like the Pacific, the moment they brought chickens out there, that was a good day. Everyone keeps chickens out there now. Chickens. The chicken craze has swept the world many times over.
Yeah, I feel like chicken's pretty. So like, yeah, what would be? I don't know what like. I know this guy's being funny or not, but like, how would you introduce chickens to the game?
I haven't the slightest clue.
Skin for the sheep, I think, because there was turkeys in AoE 2.
You know, I'd kind of like that. I hate to say it, but I think that'd be a funny thing to do, or like maybe like a funny alternate game mode where there's like just a lot more chickens and less sheep. Like the chickens have less food, but there's more of them. Like that, I don't know.
Can you hurt? Chickens aren't gonna follow you,
dude. Where's the Benny Hill theme, man? I need that right now.
What there's like a chicken coop unit, and you can go on the map and just collect chicken coops. You take chickens and put it in the coop and drop it off at your base, and you have a chicken coop.
I mean, in Age of Empires 2, there were like ducks and rhinos, and you could eat anything out there.
I am cool with seeing more animals, like all around the map. Like
as long as they go and have that bell. I need to hear this every single time. I get so much dopamine out of that. I could just sit here just pressing it again and again and again. Like it's so good.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, that is especially when it happens off screen. You can kind of like shift move your scout, and then you like look at your base. And you hear a little.
You hear it?
Hear it. You're like, oh, he's getting in out there. That's what's up. Okay, but
so I have bad news.
Oh no.
And I want you guys to be sitting down for this. The earliest possible domestic chicken remains are found in northern China, so they're going to get even more food.
No!
Oh yeah, there you go.
China.
China. Get in there, new China's getting chickens next update.
Somewhere, wherever, Tim, if you're listening to this, man, and malding with us, I can feel him just like rolling over in his future grave, like 80 years from now. Tim's gonna just like come back to life as a zombie like a century from now, just like those chickens in China. Why do they buff them?
Those chickens in China. It's like that bare naked lady.
Yeah.
Good China buff.
Think of that too.
Yeah, I'm with it. Sign a petition. Get them in there. Get China. They need them.
Oh, actually, only if it's a nerf. Like, give China the crappy chickens, and we'll all keep our sheep.
Okay, there we go.
All righty, guys. Shall we take a quick break and then get to our main discussion topic?
Yeah.
No.
Good.
No. Okay, Caleb's got something to say. What do you got, Caleb?
I'm listening to 1 week during the break.
Yeah, break sounds fine.
Are you tired of your pansy army getting wiped off the map by some dorky guy with a bow and arrow? Are you tired of losing games because your opponent is cashing in too much dough? Are you tired of your mom breathing down your neck telling you that your life is going nowhere and that you're never going to be a pro gamer because you can't climb the stupid ranked ladder? Bruh. Well, I'm Rex Equitex, and I'm here to show you my 3-step program through www.morenights.com. I'm going to show you how to really pack a punch in just 3 simple steps. First, pick your stable. Then, you're going to spam that W key. Finally, you're going to get those knights. After that, it's simple. You just need to sweep the villagers, walk away. Sweep the villagers, then walk away. Here at Rex Equitex, we live by a couple of proven rules to keep your knights as efficient as can be. Rule number 1, buddy system. No more knights flying solo. Your knights are better when they are with other knights, so make more knights. Rule number 2, you gotta dress for success. You think some villager is gonna be scared from Peter Pan walking around with a pointy stick? Forget about it! That plume on your knight's helmet is a statement of superiority. So join my dojo and learn under the tutelage of me, Rex Equitex. Learn more at www.morenights.com.
www.morenights.com is not responsible for the mishandling of your knights in the event that you do not follow Rex Equitex's buddy rule. We are also not liable for running your knights into spearmen, archer pilings, town center fire, boiling oil, or cannon emplacements. All knights should be treated with the respect that all dangerous killing machines deserve. Discontinue using knights if you feel you are climbing the ladder too fast, are pregnant, might become pregnant, or are against committing war crimes in Age of Empires 4. All knights should be handled with care. Learn more at www.morenights.com.
I'm Rex Equitex, and I approve this message.
And we're back. Our main topic today is kind of a fun idea that Sir Nevels came up with here. He wanted to kind of talk Abbasid.
Hey, that's my main right there. On brand.
We were going to talk about the civilizations that we want to get better at, and more specifically, kind of like what we struggle with in playing with those civs. And we'll just kind of each take turns, I think, kind of going through what we struggle with, how we want to improve. Maybe we can get some input from everyone. We'll just kind of have a little round table. I'll start off. So the civs I picked were Abbasid, China, Ottomans, maybe Delhi. I know I was going to do 3 each, and I kind of put 4 on here. These are all civs. I don't want to have any desire to learn like Malians or Mongols, or even Rus. I kind of learned Rus. I probably could have put that on the list too, but it's not one I really wanted to focus on as much. Abbasid is one I actually do want to learn. I've kind of struggled with them just because their build order is very different. And I think my biggest thing is I just need to learn how to play the early build order. I think my mid to late game overall is actually not bad. I think I'm pretty good at this point in my AoE 4 career of kind of bouncing back and forth with whatever is thrown at me. Like I can adapt my gameplay. Especially in like Castle Age, the win conditions kind of end up being the same. Like either your eco boom is big enough that you're winning in Castle, or you're going for like a feudal push, or you're playing the map control, or you're raiding. I mean, there's win conditions that just kind of work for each civ and for every civ. But Abbasid is just, I think the big thing for me is I'm just not used to working with so many villagers.
Oh yeah,
that's very novel to me. So that's been something I've been in particular trying to kind of get used to.
They're great. You want to keep. I'm telling you right now, man. Like just like me, I want to say like I'm like good with the Abbasid. I think I don't think you can also, especially new updates, you can play them very dynamically. Like you don't have to just like, I think that's kind of what they're traditionally known for. It's like their economic booms, which they do excel at with their tech that allows them to cheaper villagers. But like a lot of people like when Abbasid first started getting played as, like everyone just went economy wing. Like there's no other wing you went to start. Economy wing, fresh food stuff every time. But now there's some people going military wing. You can go fast castle or culture wing because the castle age and the resources you need are cut down. Like you can do a lot. I mean, you can even go trade wing or something. It's like you don't even have to go 2 TCs right away. Like you really, that's my favorite way to play because I love the high. Like I like going 3 TCs honestly early, but you know, like you can play a bunch of different ways. You can also get punished a bunch of different ways also. Because like if you do go crazy economically, then you can't get punished. You can't get overran mills. Especially that's why I lose so heavy to the Ottomans, you know, Beal's boys over there. You know what I'm saying? Because they always overrun me on like, I'll try to go, you know, 2, 3 TCs on them. And they're like, yeah, dude, go ahead.
Oh, that's tasty. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Good luck not having military.
Exactly. They're like, yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, like, I'm Richard Bill, and this cop comes across a 3rd TC. He's like, this is awesome. Yes. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, no, exactly. He does not know where I'm coming from. And like, yeah, so like, but like, so like, even but the Ottomans can still, I mean, the Abbasid can still beat the Ottomans, but you have to transition your game. Like military wing off rip to kind of counter their early spearmen. And then like, you know, and then you can kind of match them in feudal, you know, by getting on the same page as them like early. Like, I mean, obviously still Ottomans are really good at military, but you know, I think the biggest struggle with like Abbasid players is that just knowing what to do and like how to transition between, you know, different build orders and different play styles on the fly. So I see why you kind of like, it can be maybe a difficult civ to learn because I still haven't even fully explored them. Military wing early for me is still like something that sounds, so I'm like, ew, no.
Well, so many of my civs that I play, I mean, I'm a big English guy and a really big HRE guy. And neither of those civs relies on booming with villagers like at all. I mean, obviously, I'm used to my villagers being very, very precious commodities that I can't afford to lose too many of. Because like, for instance, HRE doesn't, I mean, you're running on like 60 vills until you get that Palace of Swabia up, basically. Whereas Abbasid, if you are going for like the traditional, like multiple 2 or 3 TC build with Fertile Crescent, villagers are like, I mean, what was that? I joked earlier that like you can do anything with endless supplies of slave labor. Like you really just don't care about them, you know? Like, I mean,
no, you really don't after a while.
Like they're like getting rated doesn't, like, obviously it hurts, but when they're only, I mean, what does a food change? They go from 50 food to or 40 food to like 20 or like,
it's a 33% drop off of
like it's a significantly decreased value of money or of food to put in to get villagers. Like they're worth less, and so for every unit that's
like 37 food, I believe.
Yeah, that's like way cheaper, right? Yeah. And so for every one that you lose, your opponent's not getting that much of an edge over you because 1, you've got so many of them, and 2, they're not like, it's not like you're pulling 50 food a pop on them. You're only losing 37. So I mean, obviously it's still in your best interest to kill the vills if you're going against them, but you have to kill a lot to make a similar dent on the economy. And that's just very different because I'm very used to having like English villagers where, I mean, English, they're normal villagers, but English are like HRE, I think in particular really struggles with this, where HRE, because their villagers are extremely efficient with the monks, the prelates, right? So they're super duper efficient, but that means you kill like 4 of them. That's a huge chunk of the eco you just took away from HRE, because until they get that Palace of Swabia where they're printing villagers, they're running on a very, very lean yet efficient economy. It's the German way, but
it's the German way.
It's the German way.
They're going to be making prelates out of the town center too. So like the castle. So you're also going to be at less villagers.
Fewer villagers that are a more important part of the economy because they're adding like plus 14 resources per drop off with the prelate next to them. So, I mean, each one you pick off is severely cutting back against the potential for HRE.
It's kind of an innate reason why harassing them is a particularly good idea, right? Yeah. Because you get more bang for your buck, as it were.
I agree.
Whereas Abbasid is it's so different that's been something that I have like, I mean, it's making me have to really think about how my economy in a very, very different way. Because normally, like for instance, I would not, and I'm taking up a lot of time on this, sorry. But I normally am not the kind of guy who just sends a bunch of villagers to a berry patch far away. because that's risky, right? Like I could lose the villagers. That would just be horrible. Like as HRE, you just would never do that, right? I mean, not never, but rarely would you go and do that. Whereas with Abbasid, it's like, that's kind of expected.
You do it 3 times at the exact same time, and so you cover.
Yeah, exactly. And if 2 of the 3 survive, like good, the greater good has been accomplished.
You're up already. Yeah.
I mean, I think Abbasid is like the one civilization where, like, after a while, you're like, dude, I gotta kill some of these villagers, bro. Like, yeah. It's getting a lot of hand.
160 these guys? I need room for military.
Like, I'm fighting with 5 spearmen. I need to kill some of these guys.
Then you just hear this a million times.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, but honestly, that's kind of cool though. Because like, sometimes you send them into danger, hoping a lot of them die. Like when I'm like playing really long games.
You guys go burn a castle down.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, hey guys, build up a keep right on his town center. Let's see how many you guys make it out.
Well, yeah, like Abbasid, like late game, like they kind of start doing stuff like that every now and then, especially if you're trying to go in. Like sometimes if you go long enough in a game, you'll do this when you go into trade, where you'll try and kill off some villagers to make room for some traders, right? But like Abbasid, man, really feels that one because it is like, go over here. Let's see if we can torch this down while we can, and maybe build something real quick before they die. Like it's like I don't need them anymore. It's such a very different way to play, and so very new to me.
It's very rewarding too. Sometimes it's nice to have a good economy.
Nevels, do you want to take one? What's the civ you were working on?
Well, me, I've been kind of like dancing back with this civilization. If I had to give myself just like one civ that I really want to get efficient with, and like I don't know why, like it's really like the Mongols. The Mongols, to me, for example, like they are a very fun civilization. Like when I went down the civilization that like I wanted to actually learn and get better with, it was like, like all these cities, like the Rus, China. Like I want to play, like I want to relearn Rus. I want to, get efficient with China, even Delhi. But when it came down to like, I pick a civ to like actually get efficient with, as far as like high end with the Abbasid or like even French, like Mongols, because like they are such a fun civilization. They're very dynamic, but I do struggle with like the startup. Like pretty much like maybe once things getting kick off, like then like I'm pretty, I guess it's kind of like any other civ, but the startup to me, it's like a lot on my mental, like because I want to be like fast, I want to look cool, like Beastie Cutie when I first started playing, but like I'm just like, what am I doing? Like I've had so many times when I'm moving constructs around and people are just in the way and it just never plants. And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm not even realizing, like I played a game not too long ago where like, I started off moving my TC to the wood line and I put my vills also on wood. My TC just never constructed. It was just sitting there like, yeah, dude, I have no room. Your people are in the way, I have no room. And then like I just like didn't get an alert or anything. So I'm like, why I have no vills in the queue? And I go back and I click back to my TC and it's just sitting there ungarrisoned. It's just like, yay. I'm like, oh my God. Like that, like I want to break those habits with the Mongols. Because believe it or not, the Mongols, like a lot of people, you hear people saying they're good, people saying they're bad. Whatever. Like, I mean, they used to be top dogs, but now they're kind of still in the middle there. But they are fun. They are very unique, like very unique. And it feels like you're literally, I think the Mongols represent what AoE4 is. Like they are like, no one's like them. Like they play way different. Like they, another thing too, like a lot of their play, like center on Dark Age. They may make Dark Age Spearmen or they're like Castle Rush. And that's like not really a super custom my play style. Like Dark, like I'm not really a gimmicky player. Like, so I don't like Tower Rush or, I don't do things like that. And like, I'm not really big in a Dark Age play. So that might be something I have to adapt to and learn a little bit more. And because it is very viable.
I guess Sir Nevels, Mongols, the big talk this season has been how they actually have a viable feudal age now.
Almost definitely. I've been playing them because my favorite age in the game is feudal age. I love feudal age battles. Like this is like, I like Siege. So like, I'm not saying necessarily I could play the game if it just had just feudal age, but like when I'm playing feudal and then we're just straight up fighting unit upon, like that's like where micro is the most intensive. We're just playing unit on unit. I love that. And like, yes, and they have gotten better with the Kashyyyk. Like the Kashyyyk is literally a feudal age. It's good in feudal age. And it's not like, it's not going to, it didn't flip the game around completely for the Mongols, but it did change them. And yes, they're They can be good or they can be trash. Like they could, like if you play with them right, they are good. And their trade, and Mongol trade is amazing too. And the Uvu is great. And how everything in the game can be, like you put on the Uvu, it gets significantly better, or it gets a bonus by putting on the Uvu. They play so different that I feel like it's just something. It's like a lot of people say they either like, love the Mongols or they don't play them at all. Like I feel like no one that like kind of just fiddles with the Mongols. So yes, Mongols is my biggest what I want to learn, and I struggle because they are very different. I don't know.
Yeah. I've tried playing Mongols. I can't figure it out. There's so much going on that
it's a lot.
I can't do it. They seem like a civ that I should pick up just because I don't like building walls. So
me either. Or houses. You don't gotta build houses either. No walls. I don't like building walls either. I hate building walls. So like that's why I want to learn them.
Yeah, they do have. I also enjoy playing in feudal. They do have a pretty good feudal comp. I do really like the Keshiks as a unit because I don't feel like they're overpowered at all.
Me neither.
I don't freak out when I see a Keshik coming at me.
You for sure still Keshik.
Yeah.
Spearmen are big problem for Keshik. They still go, and Knights, big problem for Keshik. They still lose. But anywhere about getting housed. Like there's some things that like are hard about the Mongol. Other things that like you don't realize like, wow, this is really relieving. I have to worry about this. Like not having big houses is like something I'd be used to. I'm like, oh shoot, what about? Oh, I don't need houses. Wait, it's like, and then like then the GUR is like universal for every resource.
Yep.
So like the GUR, like you don't worry about building mining camps or like lumber camps. You just build a GUR, which is more expensive, but it is like
it can also move. It can also move them too. So that's kind of nice.
Also too, be careful with that though, because if you put your GUR where your villagers are collecting, the GUR won't build. They'll start walking all the way back to the town center. I've done that also. Like moving things is kind of risky because if something's in its way, it just won't place. And then the villagers, if it's like, in that little dimension where it's like transparent, yeah, literally they won't return to it. They'll walk all the way back to your town. That's like one of the most
interesting things with the Kurultai is you want that as close to your enemy as possible, but you got to put it up before they get there and just like block the animation for them to lay down.
Pretty much, yeah. And like you have to like literally move your units around it. Like plenty of times my Kurultai won't place because my military is in the way. I'm like, God, go move it. Okay, Spearman, get over here. And then they'll finally place.
I've played a bunch of 3v2s with like a Mongol teammate, and the amount of times I've had them yell at me, move your unit. I'm trying to put the Kurultai down. Move.
Exactly. Yeah. Mongols are fun. It's in the end, like, I mean, I'm probably playing them a lot this season. I've been having internet problems, but I'm finally back and going at another internet issue. But yeah, now.
Sorry, is that a bug that if you can't place with you? I mean, shouldn't your friendly units move out of the way? Like, I feel like that would be like when you place a keep down, if it's your units, they'll just kind of like skirt right out of the way. It's only if it's an enemy unit that it blocks it.
Possibly.
Like I feel like it should just be able to place down if you got friendly units. Like that would be like, I would assume that your units would be like, yes, please put it down where you wanted it to.
I think the difference is that most of the time your units are actively in combat with Kurultai and generally keeps. I mean, sometimes they are, but not normally. And so I think like combat commands override movement out of the way commands.
I guess that makes sense. But like if your units are just there and it's not letting you drop down because they're just standing there, that I feel like.
I think in that situation they would auto move. I just think that most of the time you're like fighting a front line and you drop the Kurultai and their army moves in front and yours shifts.
Yeah. I think honestly too, like the difference between moving and something, like you're not building it again, you're just unpacking it. So like it's like for a keep, you're building a keep.
Yeah, the logic could be different too.
So you're unpacking it. So I think they're like, nope, they get stubborn. Like, I can't do it, bro. Sorry. Tell them to move.
It's like they're not in position for this unpacking.
Exactly. Like you're arguing with your own landmark.
So Nevels, don't take this the wrong way. I really think you could be the kind of guy who would actually argue with your landmark.
Oh, I guarantee you can find footage of me doing that or MIL's like, dude, Kurultai, go. And they're like, it's like, no, dude, no, I can't. It's people in the way. Dude, well, move this way. You're like, they're like, living in the argument with the landmark itself. I have for sure yelled at a landmark. 100%.
I love that image. Oh gosh.
It's pretty sad.
Caleb, what are some civs you've been working on?
I'm going to pass my
Okay.
turn to Beal because
Okay.
mine is answered with a question. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, then
Okay.
Beal.
All right. Well, I did dip into Delhi.
How did that go?
Ooh, yeah.
Very bad.
Oh no! I noticed you've been streaming a lot of auto lately, and I was like,
Yeah,
I wonder
I'm
what
not
happened to
seeing
Delhi.
Oh, yeah, I heard the same thing.
Yeah, it was one stream of trying to play Delhi, and then like, ooh. I think Askeladd was in the chat, and he put it the best. It's like way more APM intensive for like no additional return.
Yeah.
Playing that Civ. So I played them in season 2, and this is kind of a like, oh well, they're good now, so you're gonna play them again. But I get back into the Rus.
Oh yeah.
Let's pick them up again.
Rus is really apparently the best Civ in the game right now, according to
They've
the top
been
bracket.
up there for so long now, too, right? I think it's just their versatility, right? Their versatility and that their line arts got better.
The Kremlin got them. The Kremlin's insane.
To have like such a safe feudal to choose, like, what are you going to do in feudal? Whatever I want. Like, they can't.
Pretty much.
You can't really raid the Rus that well
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do, it's because your opponent's
good.
not. It's if you do get raided, it's because you're not playing him well.
Pretty much, yeah. Like no one's gonna respect you. You say I lost 20
Like I beat
villages."
someone who went, I think 2 TCs, like tried doing 2 fast TCs with the Kremlin, and I was like, oh no way! And I rushed with HRE, went fast castle, Burgrave rush, and just swept. And
Yeah, I mean, you do have to, like, as Ottomans, I try to go a faster castle than normal against Rus, just because you're gonna fall behind in eco.
yeah, if you're gonna go for an eco play, you can't go for the Kremlin. Like you can't go like full greed with the Kremlin and expect it to carry you. But I mean, if you're gonna go full greed, just go for the Golden Gate. I mean, that'll get you there faster, anyways. But
I tried playing Golden Gate, dude, and it's just, it's like I'm like that guy who's still trying to make DVDs work. It's just like I guess I'm just out of the loop because I tried making Golden Gate great, and I played a Rus Mirror. He went Kremlin, I went Golden Gate, and I think I streamed it. I don't know if I streamed it, but I was like, oh yeah, like this is fine. The answer, the question finally answered. What's better? And dude, he destroyed me. I was like the Golden Gate was great, but dude, Kremlin's just better. It's sad, but it's better. Like I mean, the bonus on wood, the just the fact that
militia.
The militia, exactly. Militia is pretty much free raiding. Like militia can be used for 2 things. You can
raiding or defense.
Exactly, or defense.
Whatever.
Like 2 purposes. And then and then it's not like a normal tower. Like, dude, you get in that Kremlin, it will turn into a Gatling gun. It will wipe you up.
Sometimes they make those
it's
gremlins
good.
look at their sexy swords. They
Exactly.
look good too,
They even look cool, dude.
They look so cool.
Who are these imposters? Who got them in the game, dude? They came out of nowhere and they're just running things. And then think about gremlins too. Like you don't gotta worry about like micro them. You just really A-move gremlins. They're gonna die. They all have terminal illnesses anyway, so they're gonna die anyway.
They've all got like stage 4 leukemia.
Exactly. They all got stage 4 something. So they're happy to die with honor. They're like, yo, send me in. You're not gonna pull them back like, oh no, no.
Nothing is more really frustrating than when you've got a big military, that they're building a big military, it's about to come to a head, and they send the freaking gremlins in the front line as cannon fodder. And you're just like, dang it, I know that every kill I'm getting is just a waste of time. Oh,
pretty much.
Gosh.
Dude, even when you can cast a game, like watch a game being casted, and then somebody will have double the Rus military coming in, and they'll have and Rus have 12 tickets, and you look at the little the statistic bar at the top, and they'll go from 12 military to 64 military, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is happening that quick? Like the Rus has a bigger military, bigger eco, everything like that quick, and then also they scale and they can hold their own. Like they're not they're weak. Rus is just number one.
Because they got great late game.
They're great.
Springalds, they can shut down siege. If you're able to mass Streltsy and Knights, good luck doing anything against that.
Yeah, so Bill, I would dive into that Rus. I would
start playing them more too. It's just that early micro is kind of tough on me. I need to get the build order set and figure it out. What I need to do for a lot of these is if I just learn the freaking Dark Age to mid feudal build order, I'd probably do fine with a lot of these because I know this. I know I've played against them enough. I kind of know what they're going for. I just need to learn the actual specifics. I just need to look at the build orders. If I just sat down and did that, I'd probably learn so many civs and actually do okay. I just need to actually spend a day and learn them and really not just like get the gist of it, but like actually really learn them.
Yeah. I mean, and then just play them, get efficient with them, play them more. And it's not, I don't think it's really that hard to like get another Civ under your belt. It's just, I think a lot of players, like including me, are just kind of lazy. You're like, dude, I don't feel like actually like going through and learning all this. Like, it just kind of like, you just don't really feel like it. And it's viable. You want to just play. You don't want to play and like have to worry about losing 10, 12 times because now you're trying to learn something new. So that's why, honestly, that's why Spur comps exist.
It's really nice. And this might be my extra sheet, but it's really nice when you learn like a little tweak to your build order that like your build order worked well to begin with. And then someone suggests, why don't you just try this? And then it starts working even better. Like I'll be I'll do that for my extra sheet for HRE. I learned a new slight modification to my build order that has been now my go-to. So I'll
that's beautiful.
Coming up here. Caleb, do you want to do yours? Unless Beal's got more to say about the Roos.
No, that's about it. I mean, they're strong and they do stuff in feudal and
they're good on water. What don't they do? What are the Roos bad at? Genuinely, what is their biggest weakness?
Air units.
Air units. Of course, of course. Hey, you laugh, but there is one air unit in the game that I can think of. Kind of.
There's an air unit.
Oh, don't! If you say the Khan's bird,
I was gonna say the Khan's bird.
Hey, that thing's sweet too.
That makes an awesome noise.
Dude, that is like the most. Dude, with the Khan is also one of the most fun units in the game. The Khan is so.
He's
dope.
so much better now. On the matter of Roos, the fact that he can 2-shot deer now is just. He's in a beautiful spot. He really is.
The Khan is good. The Khan is
living his best kingly life.
The Khan's a necessary unit.
The bird is the only aerial unit. I'm so proud of myself.
We call him Genghis Jenghis. We call him Genghis. That's what I call him. Genghis Jenghis. That's what I call him.
Gosh.
All right. So before I mention my point, I do want to ask Socerton a question. He enjoys the Khan's bird noise, but also hates the bird noises on a different map.
Yes. It's the difference between to.
Also, it's a falcon. So
it sounds like
majestic.
Maybe one's a little throatier than the other.
Yeah. There's no phlegm in the falcon,
Yeah, I guess pigeons and falcons are two different. Yeah, they're not in the same. They're birds, but not in the same.
You can't tell me that the chirp of an eagle sounds on par to the hawking screech of a seagull. I got both of them out here on the coast, and I can tell you, the eagle sounds like, whoa, that sounds like an eagle. They make some weird. Eagles don't make that noise that everyone thinks they do. If they think that it's actually a falcon noise, that the screech. Eagles don't do that. They do like a cool chirping noise. It's really hard to describe, and it's like always so cool when you hear it because they're such big birds. But then you get seagulls, and they are just the pit of the earth. So
Yeah, that's dope, man. I've never seen eagle in my entire life, and I'm American.
They don't sound like falcons. What you hear is a falcon screech. Eagles don't sound like that at all. So
that's dope, though.
Okay, so mine is a question, and I don't know if you want to do this as homework for you guys or pose this as a our listeners can and message me their recommendations. I am having trouble figuring out who I want to learn. So it's blasphemy for me to say this, and I understand that. So I want everybody to hold the torches.
I've got my advocate scream ready to go.
I'm slowly but surely learning that I actually don't like the way the HRE plays. And
whoa, okay, let's hear it.
And the answer is because I've been playing a lot of other games that aren't as time intensive as Age of Empires, games like Mechabellum and things like that, where there's strategy, there's thought, Magic the Gathering, things like that, where I'm kind of learning more about how I like to play things. So I'm going to describe what I enjoy, and then you guys can answer me now or come back later or whatever with your thoughts. I like to play things that tend to go later to mid to late game, but have utility early on. And some of this sounds like HRE, and I understand that. But have utility early on to facilitate not necessarily shenanigans, but keep other people honest, have the ability to kind of fight against cheese, have the ability to kind of take control of a game if the opportunity is given to you, but the general game plan is to go later. That's kind of what I've noticed.
Oh,
China was my thought.
You're China, bro.
And that's what I was afraid, and I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to make Tim cry.
Yeah, you're in China all day.
China, maybe English even.
Yeah. Yep.
English kind
China
of thrives at the end of Castle Age, going into Imperials when they get that strong spike, and they can play a lot of feudal. They don't, because English doesn't have to feudal rush, right? You could play 2TC, 3TC English potentially.
Yeah, English is the
2TC
and
English.
it sounds basic. That's possible. That's an option.
Because my thoughts on why I don't necessarily want those, and again, maybe this is just my own personal thoughts on them just being incorrect, but like China feels too turtley for how I like to play. So like in League of Legends, I don't play Kale because Kale literally loses. Like, and I know China doesn't auto lose, but Kale is like super, super late game. Like she's not a champion until like middle of the game. And I don't tend to enjoy that kind of gameplay. I don't tend to enjoy like cheesy strategies or like hyper aggression either. I'm like this weird, tend to go towards later, but I like kind of middle to late with like utility in the early.
So let me throw an Abbasid.
Okay.
Utility early game. You choose whichever one you want to go up with the House of Wisdom. I mean, if it looks like the game is going to get scrappy and feudal, you got military wing. If you want to go fast castle, you got the culture wing. And if you're going to settle in for a multi-TC play, you got the eco wing right in feudal. That choice right there dictates basically the entire pace of the rest of the game. And then you work your way into like Imperial. You got camel archers and incredible spears.
Does Abbasid kind of fall off though? Does Abbasid fall off in feudal in Imperial Age a little bit though?
Oh no,
no,
they're one of the best. So, well, no, I think Abbasid. I think even as top, Abbasid is like one of the. I mean, they're like up there with like China English in late game.
Really?
Yeah, you got
most definitely. Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Their food gathering is insane, and also Abbasid is the only civ in the whole game that has a post Imperial. You can get all 5 wings if you want. If you actually get enough, if you get enough resources to get the last wing, you can get it.
What?
Like you can get all 5 wings. Maybe I'm tripping. I hope I'm not wrong. I swear, no.
Hang on, let me open up my game and can do a custom map.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm opening my game up right now.
Yeah, I think you literally like once I gotta figure this out now. I'm pretty sure the Abbasid you can get all 5 wings. You can get all 5 wings.
I feel like the trade-off is that you can't get every single.
No, like so if you were to go to Imperial with your with Abbasid and then you get enough resource to go to get the last wing wing's not blocked off. You can get the last wing.
All right, it's gonna take me a couple minutes for everything to load in, but I'm
doing the same thing. I'm
click all the way. I've got infinite resources here. I'm gonna just click and see what happens.
I'm pretty sure you can get it because
I'm looking at the Age of Empires wiki, and it says upgrade cost for the first wing, that's feudal. Second wing, that's the typical Castle Age cost. Then it says third and fourth, and they're both at Imperial.
Yeah, I think you can get. I'm doing right now improving, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can get all of the wings. Like you can get everything.
Yeah,
and
according to this wiki, you are absolutely correct.
Oh, I'm just saying, boys. Yeah, you can get all the wings.
How did we not know this?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, because it's kind of hard because a lot of times you don't have enough resources.
How expensive is
that's
it?
a major investment.
Yeah, it's a major investment.
It's like going up to Imp again. But
it's a post Imperial. You can get trade. We can get all of them. If you're really playing late game, that's why people have argued that it's the best late game civ. And you can get your farms. You can get the tech. You can get all the tech from the House of Wisdom. Like you can get all the farming upgrades, everything. Abbasid's very good in late game.
How do I not know this? I've been playing this game for so long. I don't think any of us. You can tell none of us are true Abbasid mains except for Nevels. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can.
I thought that was what Beal said. Like that's kind of the trade off of the civ of the choice is you have to pick. You don't get one of them, but that's
wow. You can get all the tech.
So in an ultra late game, you could get an additional boost somewhere.
Yeah. So Abbasid is also good for you if you want to try a civilization who's very good late game. They are for sure, like,
Yeah.
you know, the late, like, they good. I've won in Feudal with Abbasid. I've won in Castle and Imperial. They're like, you know, even in team games, like maybe like, I don't think 2v2 they're the best, but like, you know, 3v3, 4v4, if you can just boom, Abbasid can be one of the best boomy civs in the game. They're insane.
Yeah.
Abbasid's
So like,
great.
so Abbasid and China are like the two that sounds
Yeah,
like.
maybe. I would say something like that. Or English. I think if you don't play English.
I think English
is
could work. I think you just got to remember that English can do more than just feudal aggression. You just
Most
got to have.
definitely.
you just
No,
have
I
to have a
think
good
they
build
can.
for it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they've got, it's like kind of like how China's got your reputation of being China. You know, English has got a reputation of being the easy civ. It's a thing. It's.
Oh, and I'm not worried about. I mean, I probably need something that's easy execution because I'm bad. But
If France,
you know,
if French had a better late castle into Imperial, I would suggest them. But they don't have a great late game. They really don't.
yeah, well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
they
Like the
don't.
French, even like the Ottomans and stuff too. They're more about being on the push.
Yeah.
HRE, like you said, you lose a villager, and it's like way more damaging to you than most other people. And they just, I don't know, they're more about like playing off of a spike, where you like get a spike and you win off of that, as opposed to like having kind of a more curve. Yeah, I think maybe Abbasid. I might try Abbasid. I haven't actually given them a shot. I started with China, but they were a lot different back then, so I might try them again too.
China's hard. I want to play China so bad, but
China's a civ that I've had so much frustration with. I like almost want to go to the dark side and learn, because they're a civ I struggle. I think they're one of the civs I struggle against the most as far as play.
Yeah.
Like their strengths always seem to outdo mine. And I know that HRE is supposed to play well into them, but I always struggle against China. I just massively struggle against them.
Yeah.
No, China. I lose to China a lot. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll take one more quick break. We're actually ending this right on time here. We'll do one more quick break, and then we'll do our extra sheeps. Hi ho, Socerton here. This is the part of the show where I do some shout outs and just talk to you, the viewer, wherever you may be. Just me, just you. This very intimate affair where we just sit, you listen, I talk. I don't ever get a response. It's just me talking alone. 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 That's a good SpongeBob reference for anyone who grew up with SpongeBob. Anyways, to business. We have a Patreon, and on that Patreon, we now, if you become a Patreon donator for as little as like $1 a month, if you do that, I have gotten a bunch of stickers and coasters, little paper coasters with our logo printed on them. I thought that was kind of cool. I wanted to do t-shirts. T-shirts are super expensive. And I wanted something that I could do internationally. Shipping is notoriously expensive globally. Thankfully, there is a fun little little thing about American mail. I can mail a letter, like an actual like postcard sized letter, anywhere around the globe for only like $1.50. So these stickers fit in envelopes, and the coasters actually do too. And if I'm not mistaken, I haven't actually done this yet. I've been getting things ready. I did research. As long as it's under an ounce, I can mail a letter for $1.50. That's like 3 stamps. That's nothing. I'm happy to do that. If you're donating $1 a month, that pays for itself in like a month and a half. So for all our Patreon viewers, regardless of where you are, if you are in Germany, if you are in the United Kingdom, if you're in France, if you're in Mongolia, I don't care. Become a Patreon member. The link's in our episode description. If you want to support the podcast, we would love that. Shout out to everyone who has done so. I am taking the time I've got 50 of these coasters left still, and like 50 stickers. I'm doing like 2 each. So like 25. I've only got like 8 Patreons right now. And plus I'm getting all the guys on the podcast, their own coasters and stickers as well. I can always make more as well. So if we run out and it becomes really popular, if people start signing up for the Patreon, this is going to pay for itself easily. It'll fund itself. I'm mailing out, stickers and coasters with the Extra Sheep album art on them. And the coasters, I have to say, turned out really nice. Like, very pleased with them. The stickers are a little bit small, but they'd be great on like a water bottle or something like that. Just a way to say thanks. So if you are a Patreon member and you, for some reason, haven't given me your address because you think it won't work, please do. I am like pretty dang serious. I've got like letters on my, you can't hear this, can you? But that's letters. I've got one here to Beal and one to a person in North Carolina. And I've got one for Sir Nevels that I need to mail out as well that I've got right here. Or mailing them out. I can do that. It works. I'm like pretty sure that they're flat enough. They're light enough. It should just go through the mail. It may take a while to get there, especially if you're international. I know international mailing can take up to like a couple months, a month or two for the snail mail to get there, but it does work. So if you're interested in like getting little bits of merch, we've got that going. So join the Patreon today, become a supporter. There is bonus content. We record lots. I just start recording and you'd be amazed the things that we say and discuss during our breaks. It's really funny. Or even just beforehand, pre-episode, we got some pretty good stuff. You can even get some, if you're interested, you could just listen to a preview of that on the Patreon as well. So it lets you listen to a couple minutes of that. But like some of the posts are like 10-minute long little bonus contents of us talking about other games and just our lives and just, how we set this thing up. It's kind of fun. It's really neat. So yeah, do that. I highly encourage you guys to do that. Even if it's just $1 a month, not to be like, you have to give me money or anything like that. This is a free podcast, obviously, for you to listen to. But if you want, we are now also doing little bonuses for people who do that, like getting you guys coasters and stickers and stuff, because we appreciate you guys listening wherever you may be, whatever you're doing. Besides that, I guess other housekeeping stuff I need to take care of. We're still working on getting a guest on the show. I apologize. It's been a long time coming. We've had people fall through. We are working on getting someone whose schedule lines up and is willing enough to hop on. I think we might have someone on next time. Caleb sent me a Discord. I sent a Discord message this morning saying he might have found someone who might, he has someone in mind he might to try and invite. So we're kind of going through the list trying to invite people. It's just getting people together to sit down and to do a podcast is a surprisingly large amount of work. Schedules are very difficult to align. It's like waiting for the planets to get up in a row. But we're working on that. Besides that, I am still working on getting YouTube episodes up. I've gotten like the first couple up, but that's about it. I need to get on that. It's a surprisingly long process to do, mostly because I just need to like make it a video, like an MP4 format, and then upload it to YouTube. It takes so long with the internet being what it is. So I am working on that. It's in the process. Besides that, I think that's all I need to talk about. I've been going on long enough. Follow Beal, AOE Beal on Twitch. Follow Sir Nevels on Twitch and YouTube. Myself, Socerton on Twitch. I think Beal CalerbCalamari sometimes streams as well. You should follow him as well if you want. Besides that, join Rising Empires. Big shout out to our lads over in the morenights.com business. They're doing great with their work with www.morenights.com. And yeah, sign up for the tournament in Rising Empires. I think that's all I got today. I'll try and keep it short. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of the episode. And we're back. Extra sheep time. I've got one I could do. I can do mine real quick and we can go down the list, or I'll just do mine. What the heck? So mine is an HRE build modification, build order modification. So the fun thing about this game is multiple build orders can work. And I thought things were a bit more standard, but the more I've watched people play, even like English openings tend to vary a lot. In casting games, you see this a lot too, where things just vary. And I don't know if there's a set, this is the optimal way, but there are a couple of accepted build orders. Mine, I love this when I know enough about a Civ that you can just get kind of a small adjustment to it to make it better. So for instance, on HRE, I used to always go like 8 on food. Like right off the bat, I'd always actually not do 8 on food. I'd start, my initial villagers would all go straight on the food right below. And then I would move on, and after a couple of villagers, I'd go on to gold for a couple to get the gold I needed. I think it was Ascalad or someone suggested, hey, off the bat, right when you start, move 3 to food and then rally to food, and then move those other 3 and put them straight to building a house and gold. And it times out just right, where it actually makes my build order, my uptime into feudal and castle just a little bit faster. And I've gotten, even with my other build order that I did, I've gotten 7.5 minute castle ages before. So it's not unheard of. But I just decided to switch it over. And I was surprised at how simple a small change could be that could just make your build order feel that much better and quicker. And I just have really enjoyed that. So short extra sheet for me today. That's it. But I was pretty thrilled about that. So And I think it just kind of reminded me that I should always be looking out at ways to kind of sharpen, as it were, my build orders.
Yeah, I believe build orders. Like, I mean, I feel like, I forgot who I was talking to about, but like, the simple fact, I think sometimes we kind of like a little bit overthink build orders. Like, we think that has to be like precisely exactly how it was documented or something. Where you can make little tweaks and changes that'll still kind of get you what you want. But, like, I think we like, what I do, I prefer like watching pro players play rather than like study a build order. Because, build orders, like, if it's like a perfect storm, then everything works out. But a lot of times, you might have a build order that you're so used to, and then you get Mongol Tower Rush, and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't wait. What do I do now? Because now they're on my goal, and that's usually what I do. And I do, like, so I think it's, once you learn Civ, it's always, helpful just to actually, put your own little spin on there.
I will say, I think it's important to have a build order in Dark Age, at least. I do think it's important. I think having an idea.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you got to have. There are some optimal ways to get up in age that are more optimal than others. So if you're just doing it completely blind, you're gonna have a rough time. That said, I do think being able to, modify your build order is definitely, I think, important as well. Like, for sure.
Of course. By the way, I did.
Wow,
confirm,
you can't. Okay, so I have gotten all 5 wings. Yeah, I'm clicking up right now. It is a thing.
Yeah.
How about that?
Dude. Yeah,
that's almost better than my extra sheep right there, man. Just you can go all 5 wings.
That might be that could be a live extra sheep. There we go.
And I'm sure most people who really do main Abbasid have known this. But for all of us who don't, like, I just never would have guessed. I just thought that was
Age of Empire 4's best kept secret.
It sounds like a great YouTube video.
Live. You got 2 extra sheep today, Sock. It was live.
2 extra sheep. That one live.
Wow, he took mine. That's crazy.
And it's going up right now. Is it up? And
mine's loading in. Yeah, mine's researching right now. Oh yeah, trade wing.
There it goes. Trade wing coming in. Wow.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's one glorious looking building.
Yeah, that thing looks amazing. I want to visit there.
I mean, I guess it's not unheard of because China has all of their options. Their landmarks. Yeah, all their landmarks, which I don't love, and I've griped about that just this last episode. So, cool. Well, does Caleb want to go next, or do Beal want to go next with their extra sheep?
Sure, I'll go next. So my extra sheep was before we started recording, I was coming off of playing against someone who's around my skill level, and we did 3 games on Mega Random with random Civs. And I gotta say, like, to just focus on the fundamentals of the game to get yourself used to just weird situations and sort of breaking up the like stagnant thought patterns that you might have, like, oh, Dry Arabia again. I basically know how this is gonna play out, especially with my Civ against this Civ. But it's been really refreshing. Like, you play Mega Random, you don't know what the map is, you have no idea what it's going to look like, and then against a Civ that you likely don't play at all versus someone else who also doesn't really have a good grasp of the Civ that they're playing. I think it leads to a lot of, just focusing on the fundamentals of the game. You might not have a build order for that Civ, so you got to start thinking about, okay, how do I typically age up? What would this Civ really want to focus for in early feudal? How do you want to play that out? So if people are stagnating and feel like they can't progress in rank or their games are too similar, just find someone, play random Civs on Mega Random for a bit. And I think you'll probably unlock something. You'll break out of the normal rut that you might be in.
Yeah, I agree. Were you doing that earlier today, Bill? Were you doing that?
Yeah, I was. Like right before we started.
I was in your stream. I was like, oh, this looks fun. But I agree with you though. Like sometimes people just like realize like, just a game. Just like enjoy like all aspects of the game and find a buddy, get into a custom game, and then just enjoy the game bare bone. That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's next? I can go next. Mine's pretty simple. Okay, cool. Yeah, mine is just what I've been doing a lot. I've been like, especially watching that. The big thing that watching Beal today kind of confirmed that too. It's pretty cool to watch players that it feels like more efficient to watch players around your skill level rather than watching like, the top of the line. Because it's almost like know thy enemy. It's like, for example, like Beal, he's like, he's platinum 2 player. And that's probably why we're seeing a lot more on the rank ladder. So I almost want to like study how he plays and how some of that, like, from his perspective, how a platinum player plays and how they think and how they move and how they kind of sway themselves. And I think that is more effective than watching, like, you can obviously learn from the very top, but like it's helpful to like review games from more players around your rank. Because I remember before I used to watch games of like top of the line, like top 10 players, and they're doing stuff that I'm just like, what? Like something I just don't even understand, because it's like me trying to like every day I'm inspired, like, I'm trying to be as much as I can by watching like Michael Jordan clips. Like, it's like, all right, yeah, that's cool, but like, they're really going to get to that level? Not saying we can't, but I'm just saying that I feel like if you want to like study like how, basically know thy enemy, watch more players of your caliber to like see what you're going to be facing most likely on the rank ladder, rather than like studying these like players that are like psychopaths and all boosted up on Adderall.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to that. I think that while the pro players are very good and, always strive for the best and it's good to watch them, they aren't going to make the same mistakes as you. They aren't going to be making the same issues as you, causing the games to be in similar states. So you never see the game that you're playing. You see the games that they're playing and how the games you're playing should play out if you didn't make X, Y, Z. So I think there's a lot of merit to that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah, so come on by Rising Empires on Saturday. Watch the Legends tournament.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Also, big shout out to Rising Empire.
Platinums, diamonds.
That's exactly what inspired me right there. Like, just like casting those games and watching those games. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting better actually watching these dudes play than watching like, not saying they're not good, but they're like on more of my level. I'm watching these guys play than watching like, Beastie Cutie or Marine Lord, which is like, that's not even competition. I'm not even competition. I wouldn't even be competition to them. Yeah. For these guys, I'd be more on par.
Yeah.
I learned a lot more watching them.
Not fall into the trap of like when I commentate like Low Legends, I'm like, oh, I could win all these games. Like,
oh my god,
that's
exactly what, dude. That's every. Nope. That's exactly what I did. I'm like, oh, I would have for sure did this. Like, I'm acting like I could see the whole match. I would have won this tournament, no problem. Hey, put me in the
I would have out microed that easy.
I would have won all of that. I would have got that serious. Like, why you do this? I'm like it's a whole different ball game when you're watching it from God mode.
Yeah, having God vision is a different perspective.
It's a whole other game.
Yeah. My extra sheep is I don't know, kind of piggybacks off of some stuff I was talking about earlier, where it's important to learn how you play and what you like to play as. And if you don't know how that relates to the game you're in, ask somebody that you know or go to somebody that you might think might know. And help them have you figured out. Like, I asked you guys what Civs, because I just was like, I have some preconditioned thoughts in my brain, and I want to ask some other people who might not have those about certain thoughts, but understand how you play. And you do that by playing a variety of games, even if they're not RTS, even if they're RPG, or if they're, auto battlers or whatever. Learn what you like to do in each of those and find the things that are that can correlate with each other among them. And then that will allow you to kind of focus on the more finer details of building villagers more and things like that, because you're already enjoying it. You're doing something that feels natural already. And then you can kind of work on the unnatural parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. It's like a lot of like psychology class. It's like, that
it's a lot. There's a lot about it.
It's way deeper than like people probably realize. Like, how do you talk about Age of Empires for all day? I'm telling you, it's a psych class.
I'm telling you, man.
Every time you open this game up, you feel like you're psychologically something's happening. Is our host still alive?
I don't know. He's
I just
He's
realized
not
I didn't
wrong.
mute for a moment. I realized I was on mute for a second. So I might have been saying some great insightful things, but I guess I'll just let you guys go for it. So
I doubt that. That's all right. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
well, I
Good
was literally
shot,
just saying
good
like, hey,
shot.
this has been a good episode, guys, and everyone just kept talking, and I was like, oh, okay, well.
He said, well, I guess. Who am I then, I guess?
Oh man.
That'd be crazy.
I cannot believe I learned something new today. Like genuinely learned something mid recording about the
gosh,
the
that's not what
House
you come
Wisdom.
here for.
First live extra
Dude,
sheep. That's
learning,
beautiful.
I know that was mind-boggling.
Yes,
Well,
folks,
I think we've ended right on time today. My wife is stressing out because we got people coming over for dinner in a second, so I think we will end the episode there. But yeah, this has been good. Next week we got a good one. Beal came up with a great topic, and we're really excited for it. It was going to be this week, but then
Take
we had
notes,
some.
guys.
Take notes for next one. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm taking notes for sure.
All right, till then, this has been the Extra Cheap. You guys have a good day, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
thanks.
great time. It's a great
Yeah.
time.
Chicken the China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick, your brain starts ticking. Always flying off the backswing. Make me think the wrong things. I cannot help it if you think you're funny weatherman. Trying hard not to smile, but I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy that laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean. You soon will. It's been 1 week since you laughed at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 4 days since the afternoon, saying you just did what I thought you were gonna do. 3 days since the living room. Yesterday, you'd forgiven me.
Okay, I'm good. I'm back.
I'm just here singing.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I'm like, did I interrupt something?
There's a song by I don't know if you've ever heard of it, by the Bare Naked Ladies. It's called 1 Week. And in the song, he goes, chicken the China, the Chinese chicken. And that's what me and Beal were thinking about.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Talking about the 1 week.
Chicken the China, the Chinese chicken.
China,
You have a
Chinese
drumstick
chicken.
in your brain. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Man.
there you go, man. That was yeah, very on brand what we're speaking on.
Yeah, it was good.
Chinese chicken.
Chinese chicken.
Chinese chicken.
Oh my gosh.